Let's fucking do this! I'm ready! Oh wait, let me make sure that the volume is turned up enough. Because we're gonna need to be able to hear the shit. Alright, great, and good. I'm so excited for the end game. Not because I'm excited to see it end, but because I'll finally be able to post all my best memes. The end game really popped off on this one. So how are we all doing? I've got the PowerPoints ready. And it took me, as you may have heard, until 15 minutes before stream time. I was sitting here frantically pasting in the last few images and like, yeah. I don't know if I fixed all of the transitions. Well, yeah, listen, we'll just live with whatever it is, you know? This one's not nearly as bad as the Blight presentation. That had like 200 something slides, 250s. This only, I think, has about 150 slides? Oh no. Well, I mean, that's good. I'm glad that you're upright and that you're not crying. I am upset to think that that might not be a given. But I'm glad to hear that. No, it was a full 15 minutes. I had time to, like, make my tea. I had time to get all my stuff together. It was great. Have I turned the volume down on my headphones too far? That's the question now. It's fine. You know what? It'll be good. As long as everyone else can hear what's happening, then we'll be fine. It doesn't matter if it's quiet for me. We'll live with it. But let's just get right into it because I've got a lot of shit to go over in the PowerPoints and I would like to start a little bit of Inquisition, but we'll see if we even get there. So let's just let's go. Let's do this. This is going to be great. It's going to be a fun time. Absolutely nothing could go wrong here. Viscount is dead. Oh yeah, First Enchanter Orsino asked me to go to the fucking... It was good. Today is my last day, and so I spent the last 2 days of my vacation frantically reading 2 books, taking notes on them, and then putting together 100-something slides. So that was fun. But yeah, honestly, I volunteered for it, so it's that's all good. I slept a lot this vacation. It was great. Hot. Alright, well, this is not telling me about the quest, but let's just... Oh, yeah! Oh, it was really last minute! No! It was super last minute. I put it off. Oh, no. Sebastian would like to speak privately in the chantry. Let's go see if we can do that. That's all useless. Lost swords. Let's go run it into Hightown one last time. We're gonna go around to Hightown one more time. We'll take the lads. The standard lads. We're gonna go out into Hightown. We're gonna make sure that we've given all of the swords to the Kunari. We're gonna go talk to Sebastian, because apparently it hasn't cleared that quest yet, and I want to make sure that I do that. And then I think that'll be the last thing. I knew that I had to do this, and I put it off the entire time.
Have you located any Kunari blades?
Nope!
I'm still looking.
Okay, great. You're just gonna leave that in my quest log. And I did not apparently find all of the lost scrolls, but that's fine. Let's go up to the chantry. Absolutely nothing weird going on here. Oh, look at how tall it is. I do love that. Let's go see the chantry, and then, let's go see what Orsino needs at the gallows! Absolutely nothing could go wrong. This is gonna just be business as you- Oh, Fenris can level up. Hello, darling, what do you need?
I'm giving it all up.
I made a vow to the Chantry, and it was wrong to turn my back.
Sebastian, listen to yourself. You're as impulsive now as the day you turned away from us. Do you think the Maker wants another rashly spoken vow that you'll abandon when the next passion takes you?
I will not.
We stand
is
an
your
impulsive
life,
bitch.
child. Don't spend it being blown about like a weather vane.
Nah, go for it.
Cheers,
Carpe
Hawk.
diem.
Maybe you can talk some sense into him.
Well, I haven't managed to talk some sense into you, but...
I don't think sense is really my strong suit.
How long has she spent telling me to return to the Chantry, and now that I want to, she won't take me? It was wrong for me to break my oath to the Chantry. I've turned against the Maker.
Yeah, the volume's
And for
very
what?
low on my speakers, but that's
Why
okay.
would I want to rule Starkhaven and deal with jackals like Lady Harriman for the rest of my life?
When
Power?
you're a prince, those same jackals will kneel at your feet and pay you taxes.
I do not have hubris enough to imagine it matters to the common people who rules them.
Whoa!
Kirkwall does well enough with no one in the Viscountcy.
Oh
Someone
no!
will take the reins. The fields will be planted, the
Oh,
crops
sir!
gathered.
Kirkwall
No
does
one
well
will
enough
notice
with
that
no
a
one in the
veil lives and
Viscount
isn't there.
seat.
And I will
Oh
devote my
shit!
life to the
Oh,
Maker's
talk
will.
about disconnected from reality. Shit. Oh, you know what? I support you in your choices. Sure, go to the Chantry. I don't think it's gonna matter that much.
You're wise to stay here. No one trusts a man who breaks his oath.
I mean,
cannot return
you
to
didn't hear that. I
Starkhaven
didn't say
and
anything.
subject my people to war without a clear sign that it's
If
the
I were
Maker's will.
romancing you, I would definitely say take the throat. Oh, Sebastian plus. Oh, I did not manage to lock in your friendship, my dude. That's not gonna go well for me. I don't think you're gonna approve of my life choices necessarily. We're gonna get, you know what, you get some constitution here. We're gonna beef you up a little bit. Not that I'm expecting conflict. Oh yeah, no, you just get some regen. That's gonna be really useful for you. No! No! Combat me! I never do that. I never fight anyone. Is there any last place we want to go? Let's go stop in for a drink really quickly. Because I'm gonna want it. Also, more to the point, I want a place to save. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go to the gallows. Absolutely nothing's gonna go wrong ever. We're gonna go in there, we're gonna be like, yeah, Arsena, this is fine. I'll take care of it. And then everyone's gonna go home and have a good night's sleep.
Thank the Maker you've come.
Oh shit.
What's happened?
First Enchanter Orsino got into a terrible argument with the Knight Commander.
Well, business as
Stormed
usual.
off to bring the matter before the Grand Cleric, but the Knight Commander gave chase.
I literally just came from the Chantry.
Wonderful. Take me to them.
I was just there. I probably passed them on the way. I mean,
We'll have the tower searched, top to bottom.
You cannot do that. You have no right.
I have every right. You are harboring blood mages.
Meredith,
and
you
I
wanna sit
intend
the fuck
root
down?
them out before they infect this city.
Blood magic. Where do you not see blood magic? My people cannot
Tell 'em,
see
Orsino.
without you accusing them of corruption.
Do not trifle with me, mage.
I
My
hope
patience is at
that
an
I
end.
have a
A
certain mod
wonder that I
installed.
never saw it begin.
The way you two carry on,
What?
people will talk.
This does not involve you, champion.
Well, okay, I think you all
I
have
think
involved
the people
me.
deserve to know just what you've done.
What I have done is protect the people of this city time and again. What I have done is protect you mages from your curse and your own stupidity.
Okay, well, that's a
And I
bit
will
much.
not stop doing it. I will not lower our guard. I dare not.
Girl,
Is there any truth to what she
is
said?
there literally any
These
truth?
are only her latest accusations, nothing more.
Okay.
And what if she does not find what she's looking for? How much further will she go to root out something that isn't there?
The champion knows better than anyone how deep the circle's corruption goes.
Low blow,
I
also,
must find
shut
the
up.
source.
No,
Does
Meredith?
the word crazy mean anything to you?
Meredith?
What
Fuck
other
off.
option do we have? Tell me, champion, that you have not seen with your own eyes what they can do.
I've heard the
Heard
lies of people
mages
who are
that
not
seek
mages
power.
who seek power.
They're not the only ones that lie and seek power.
You would cast us all as villains, but it is not so.
I know, and it breaks my heart to do it.
It breaks
But we
my
must
heart.
be
No, it
vigilant.
doesn't!
If you cannot tell me another way, do not brand me a tyrant.
We've been telling you another way this entire damn time!
You will not bring her grace into this.
I've been trying to bring her grace
The
into
Grand
this.
Cleric cannot help you.
Oh shit.
Explain yourself, mage.
Oh shit.
I will not stand by and watch you treat all mages like criminal, while those who would lead us bow to their Templar
Okay,
jailers.
to be fair, he has not
The
been.
circle has failed us, Orsino. Even you should be able to see that.
Oh!
The time has come to act. There can be no half measures.
Anders, what have you done?
There can be no turning back.
Hot girl shit. Muffled blow by Kesha plays in the distance. I shouldn't be laughing about this, but... Whoops. It's only Hightown.
Make her have mercy.
There can be no peace.
So true, babe.
No! Make her no! She was your most faithful, your most beloved.
Well,
Why didn't she listen to me?
that is a good question. Why didn't she? Why didn't she listen to literally fucking
The
anyone?
souls of the faithful that they ascend to your right hand.
Why? Why would you do such a thing? I removed the chance of compromise, because there is no compromise.
The Grand
Preach.
Cleric has been slain by magic. The Chantry destroyed. As Knight Commander of Kirkwall, I hereby invoke the right of annulment. Every mage in the Circle is to be executed, immediately.
The Circle didn't even do this. Champion, you can't let her. Help us stop this madness.
And I demand you stand with us. Even you must see that this outrage cannot be tolerated.
The
Why are
circle
we debating
had...
the right of annulment when the monster who did this is right here?
I mean...
I swear to you,
I mean-
I will kill him.
It can't be stopped now. You have to...
Right? Anders is right there. He's right there. He's like, listen, I did this. It was all me. No one else had a hand in it. And this is exactly why he wouldn't tell Hawk about his plan earlier. And I understand why, even though I don't approve of the emotional blackmail. I understand why he did it. Because he wanted to be able to say with full truth that no one else was involved. No one else knew about the plan. Literally no one. He wanted to cover all of his bases and say, look, I'm the only one who did it. No one else should be blamed for this, and I'm gonna give myself up. And what does Meredith do? She's like, let's kill all the mages in Kirkwall.
Was that
You fucker!
needed me to distract the Grand Cleric?
You were part of this?
Eat shit.
If you knew what I was doing, you would have felt honor-bound to stop me. I couldn't take that chance. The Circle is an injustice. In many places beyond Kirkwall. The world needs to see.
Elthina is not the Circle. She was a good woman.
Althena was in charge of the circle.
You've doomed us all! We were already doomed. A quick death now or a slow one later.
Althena had the power to step in at any time, and she didn't fucking do it. You know, for argument's sake, it might make it worse.
You may have turned everyone against the mages now.
Was anyone ever with us?
It doesn't matter. Even if I wished to, I could not stay my hand. The people will
Alhina
demand
was both
blood.
sidesing. I'd be very mad.
This won't be easy, but I'll defend you.
I mean, it would be
But
really
what of
funny.
Anders?
I must stand for order, Hawk. Against you, if need be.
Sit the fuck down, Evelyn.
After all the evil that magic has wrought, you would still support them.
You sure about this? Even you might not win this fight.
I know we can do this. I believe in you, Hawk.
Shit. What have you gotten yourself into this time, Isabella?
Think carefully, champion. Stand with them and you share their fate.
I can live
Eat
with
shit.
that.
Thank the Maker. It is a mistake, but I won't abandon you.
I see what you are trying to do, and my place
Alright, Aveline was the one I wasn't
is
sure
with
about.
you.
You are a fool, champion.
I knew Fenris was
Kill
gonna
them
stick
all.
with me.
I will rouse the rest of the order.
It would,
Go! Get to the gallows
it
before
would be
it's too
really
late!
funny. Alright, well, let's make sure. There we go. Let's go over here. Let's get a cheeky little spell going. Oh, that's that all?
So it's come to this.
I mean,
I don't know if we can win this war, champion.
I mean, to be fair, it kind of was always going to come to this.
I will leave your friend for you to deal with. I must return
Anders,
to the gallows.
bestie,
Meet me there as
beloved.
soon as you can.
I support you in all your choices. No,
There's
she
nothing
went
you can
off.
say that I haven't already said to myself. I took a spirit into my soul and changed myself forever to achieve this. This is the justice all mages have awaited.
I might have understood if you'd only told me.
You condone this? The brutal death of an
No,
innocent
Meredith
woman
is not
of
already
faith,
dead. She went back to the
someone you
gallows.
knew, who trusted you.
I wanted to tell you, but what if you stopped me? Or worse, what if you wanted to help? I couldn't let you do
Ugh.
that.
Anders, beloved.
The world needs to see this. Then we can all stop pretending the circle is a solution. And if I pay for that with my life, then I pay.
Like, he's
Perhaps then
perfectly
justice
willing to
will
give
leave me
himself
free.
up.
Opinions?
If I'd been in that chantry today, would you be waffling? You know what must
A little
be
bit.
done.
Bold plan. Well, I thought so.
Isabella approves.
He wants to die. Kill him and be done with it.
Belief is no excuse.
Brutal,
Sincerity does not
Fenris.
justify this.
You should come with us. Do what you can to put things right.
I think I'm sick of mages and Templars.
Whatever you do, just do it.
Yeah, come on, bestie.
Help me defend the mages.
You mean, stay with you?
Of course!
I didn't think you'd let me.
Of
But if
course
you
I
do,
will!
I'll fight the Templars.
Because we're best
Damn
friends,
right I will.
Anders.
No. You cannot let this abomination walk free. He dies.
Sebastian, this
or
is
I'm
my
returning
main
to
beef with
Starkhaven.
you.
And I will bring such an army with me on my return that there'll be nothing left of Kirkwall for these Maleficarum to rule.
First of all, once again, the idea of you taking it out on Kirkwall because of one person's actions, even if you're mad at me also at this point, you're gonna attack Kirkwall. The rest of Kirkwall, who's done literally nothing to you ever. Shut the fuck up, Sebastian. Also, you've got a bow. I assume you've got a knife. You want to kill him so bad, you do it. But no, it's like, I want him to be dead, but I want you to do it. I won't do it. You have to do it. And if you're not willing to, no, that's fucked up. No, Maleficarum means mages who do bad things, broadly speaking, mostly blood mages, but in this case, he's including Anders in it. No, I'm not gonna kill him.
Do not interfere, Sebastian.
I will not fight you, Hawk. My death now would serve nothing. I will return to Starkhaven, but I swear to you, I will come back and find your precious Anders. I will teach him what true justice is.
Sure, Jan.
Thank you for my life. I'll try not to make such a mess of it this time.
How invigorating.
We'd all best get to the gallows.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
It's going to be quite a show.
All right, let's get to the gallows. We're gonna bring the girls with us, obviously. By which I mean the lads. All right, well, I guess we're going to the fucking gallows. Let's loot everything. How are you? What's going on? We're about to end this game.
Dying to defend the right of mages. I'll put that on the list of things I wasn't expecting to do today.
Oh, cutscene. Oops, what the fuck? Oh, cool demons. A big mood. Carver!
Carver?
I've been looking everywhere for you.
Can I have a hug?
You were dead.
Can I have a hug?
Last time we spoke, it didn't seem
Can
like
I have a
that
hug,
would matter to
Carver?
you.
Look, I know what happened in the deep roads. You saved my life,
You know what this
and I
is?
didn't even thank you.
Growth.
But you're the only family I have left. I have to stand by you. Just say the word and you'll have my blade.
I thought the Order was supposed to be neutral.
I'm a warden because of you. I blamed you for a long time, but you saved more than my life. I'm so much
Look
more
at
than
this
I
character growth!
This is what I was meant to be. And I won't thank you by doing nothing while you start a war.
Absolutely.
Your blade would be
Absolutely.
Brother and sister together again, huh? Just like
I'm gonna
old
get
times.
emotional. I love Carver. Sorry. it's Carver! For sure! Hey, you wanna get that one for me, bud?
Easy.
I love my sweet baby brother. That is where we just came from. We're gonna get that barrel and we're gonna... There's a lot of barrels here. There's gonna be nowhere... I kicked Anders out. I love Anders. But I don't actually need 2 mages. And I would commit murder for
where you are.
Carver.
There is no escape.
Leave me alone. I never asked for any of this.
The law is clear, mage. We cannot
Come
take a
on.
risk.
Keep away from me. I'm warning you.
This is what happens when you make mages desperate. You're driving mages to this. It's not their fault. Let's get the dog out here. Like a little spell there. Let's get oh shit. Now the fucking rage demon shows up. Well, let's go over here. Let's come over this way. Why are there so many of them? It is. It's like... Anyway. Literally, what do you expect? If you threaten mages' lives, do you really think they're not going to turn to the most desperate thing they can think of? if you make it quite clear that you're gonna kill them no matter what do they have to lose at that point? Oh yeah, sure, I could resist against demons taking me over, and then you'll just fucking kill me. Or maybe fucking let a demon take over. Maybe demon takes out a whole bunch of you along with me. Dunno. No, I know which one I'd pick. Like, what do Templars expect? Yeah. Exactly. It's like, ooh, heightened emotions? Don't mind if I do. And I'm like, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Templars don't make any sense to me. It's a dumb move. It's a stupid way to handle the situation. Oh god, there are a lot of you people. Mages. I'm gonna help the mages. That. Get that. Effect attacks down. That.
One more.
You assholes. Get in here. Let's drop one of these lads on ya. Oh, a Templar Lieutenant. Oh, I don't want to be Fenris. I don't want to play a warrior. Let's get a fun crushing prison on you. I think that'd be nice. Get more of these. Oh, there's more Vlads behind me. Oh. Y'all good? Lad's alright? No, I mean, he is. I don't want to be a warrior, is my point. I do not wish to play the warrior class. He's very tough. I don't want to swing a big sword. I want to throw fireballs.
Strange fighting at your side again.
Good strange, though. Alright, let's get to the gallows.
Been a long time, hasn't it? I kind of like it.
Well, I could do with a little bit less of the corpsey nonsense. Oh, there's a lot of people dead here. An empty vial of Illyrium. Goodness. There's a... Oh, whoops. Oh, well, there's a mage. Sure. Alright. Block and report. Oh shit, that's a pride demon. Oh, that's a big one. Can you get that blood mage, please? Can you get that blood mage? Thank you. I didn't know. Oh, how? Whoops. Hello. So immortality is no longer on. Okay. Well, I guess I get to be Fenris no matter what now. That's fine. I don't like this. He doesn't have a whole lot of... Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, he's not doing so hot, so... try demon. Be like another pommel strike? What is that? No, that's bolster. And this is exactly why I don't want to be a warrior. Look at this. It takes so long to do anything.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Or learn to dodge. Either one.
Great. Now I'm immortal. Great. Let's get that. Let's have Varric open this thingy.
Good to go.
Let's get that barrel. Let's make sure actually that Carver has a good weapon. Oh, I missed a charge-a-bug. Secret of the Great. Yeah, you're probably pretty good. Yeah, but what about lineage? Seems nice. You could have that. What about you? Do you have the best thing you could have? No, but you have the Blade of Mercy, and I'm not going to take that from you. The Enigma of Kirkwall? I didn't think we were going to get any more of these, but here we go. We went to the center of it all. F is dead, and I am alone and injured. I must go back and put an end to it. The maddening thing is there. The maddening thing is there. Oh, the maddening thing is there still is no answer. But the Forgotten One, or demon, or whatever it is, must be destroyed. I fear one may be already unbound. I forswear my oaths. The Magister's lore must be burned and the ashes scattered. No good can come of it. And Maker help us if someone does not answer. If someone does answer what we could not. Interesting. Cool. Well. Can we... Oh, nope. That didn't do it. Oh, I know where we're going. That's fine. Yeah. Getting all these health potions. It's almost like we're getting to the end of the game. It's almost like there's going to be a boss battle or something. There it is, the fucking gallows. Let's do it. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. No, well, kind of. The gallows is the name of that place. The circle in Kirkwall. That's my brother! Gallows specifically meaning, like, what you hang people from. Yes, I will need to do that.
Quickly!
Come on, Orsino.
First Enchanter!
Champion! You've survived, thank the Maker! We must...
And here you are!
Let us speak, Meredith! Before this battle destroys the
I
city
think that's
you're
Galleon?
trying to protect!
I will entertain a surrender. Nothing more.
Eat shit.
Speak if you have something to say.
Revoke the right of annulment, Meredith, before this goes too far. Imprison us if you must. Search the tower.
Come on! No, don't let her have that much.
Do not kill us all for an act we did not commit.
The Grand Cleric is dead, killed by a mage. The people will demand retribution, and I will...
So justice doesn't matter to you, just
Your
appearances.
offer is commendable, Orsino, but
is
it
what you're
comes
saying
too
to me.
late.
I was kind of hoping for a happy ending.
I doubt we'll be seeing that.
I suppose I should have expected no less from you, champion. So be it. You will share the Circle's fate.
So what is it to be, Meredith? Do we fight here?
Good luck
Go.
trying?
Prepare your people. The rest of the Order is already crossing the harbor.
I'm the
This
fucking
isn't over.
champion of Kirkwall. Good luck trying to kill me. I'm like a fucking cockroach. Oh, I see you. I see you, Meredith. I know. I am looking. I'm noticing things. Heck yeah. She does have that, it is true. It does give her a lot of strength.
My fellow mages, heed me. The Templars will come. For all our power, we cannot defeat such an army.
Oh, come on.
There is only one option for us all. Survive. Do not submit.
Oh.
Do not fall on your knees before them. Get out of Kirkwall. Spread word to the other circles. They will not get away with this.
No, they won't.
Prepare your people, champion, and then speak with me.
He's still telling them,
If we
hey,
have any chance of surviving,
don't stop
it
to
will be
try
with
and
your
defeat the
help.
Templars. Get out of the city. Make sure that you survive. Because he's a good first enchanter. I'm sad. What have I got here? Mantle of the Champion, Uncertainty, yeah. And Summon a Bari, great. And... Wait, how do I have this? Alright, well, that's fine. Let's give me one more power up. What am I gonna get? Regenerating mana more quickly. I do like that. What do I use? I will do that one. I do love passive abilities. It's time to talk. Blood magic, exactly. We'll take that. Is there a person I can trade with? Oh, it's Elaine.
We don't deserve
Meredith will get what's coming to her. She's gone too far.
That's my boy. That's my boy. You were so scared before, and now you're standing up to them. I love you.
Shouldn't you be halfway to Tevinter by now?
Maker's breath. Take off with a priceless relic once, and you never hear the end of it.
Your life would have been easier if you had just cut me out of it. But you stood by me. You defied the Qunari, and fought their Arashok for me, even after I betrayed you.
You came back to help me. Defending you from the Arashok was the
It's
least
time to be genuine.
And don't think I'm not grateful for that. I know I don't exactly inspire confidence, but I swear, I'm going to come through for you this time. When you look for me, I'll be fighting at your side.
Aww.
I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or there's more to do, or... Does all this feel like a dream to you, too? In a moment, I'll look down, see I have no pants on. The champion of Kirkwall going to battle naked. Why can't I ever have that dream? Hawk, before we go... Meryl, whatever happens, I'm proud to have known you.
Blech. Let's real quick. First things first. I'm gonna talk to the people like...
Captain.
Not for much longer if this goes bad.
Right.
What a mess. You really put loyalty to the test, you know. Donick has kept the guard protecting civilians. Meredith will have no support from them.
Oh,
With luck,
thank you.
well, let's just say we need some luck.
Starting to doubt me?
Never.
Oh.
Almost never. Let's keep the damage to a minimum, shall we? I've walked away from too many wastelands for one lifetime.
Yeah. Alright, well... Exactly. This is the big BioWare thing where you talk to all your companions before the final battle. Alright, the lads are the only ones left now.
I underestimated you, Hawk. I really thought when it was put to the test, you'd have to kill me. You truly are the
I don't
leader
have
we've
to
been
do
waiting
anything.
centuries for.
Oh, stop. You're making me blush.
Thank you for standing by me. We would not have reached this point without you. May the Maker bring us victory. Maybe if he shows his approval, the world will finally be ready to change.
Well, we'll see.
Brother.
You always seem to find a way to make my life difficult. I should be
Match.
hunting archdemons, but it feels right to be at your side again.
This is where you should be. With family.
That won't always be the case. You know that. I've seen a lot of things. The world out there.
That's my
It
baby
needs help.
brother.
But I can start here. Who'd have thought, huh? Two nobodies from Lothering. I wish Mother could have seen us like
Alright,
this.
well, you don't have to make me emotional.
I don't know what she would think about the rest, but...
She always knew
I'm
it would
gonna
take
be
something like this to
sincere.
bring us together.
I suppose she did. I'm proud to call you sister.
Hey!
Not said too long.
Hey!
In war, victory, champion.
Hey, you can't hit me with
Whatever
that.
else may come.
Oof! Wow.
Hawk.
Nah. If I knew that that was gonna be a silly answer, I would pick it, but...
My mother didn't raise any stupid children. I know how dangerous this fight will be.
I just got a little bit
Well,
emotional.
that's comforting. It's the
I
most
love
dangerous
Carver.
thing we could ever do. But at least we know that.
Exactly, and knowing is
You
half
know
the
me,
battle.
Hawk. I'm not one for long goodbyes.
Well, it's not gonna be a
Not sure we should be
goodbye,
doing this.
so...
Helping dangerous people run amok. But I'm with you.
We've faced down worse things than this, Varric.
Oh my god, I
What
love
could
you.
possibly go wrong?
Oh, I hate it when you say that. What do you say we put an end to all this waiting around and go meet
Oh
destiny?
my god, Hawk and Varric being besties are like, okay. Now, can I get the right fucking dialogue for this?
Here I am, about to defend these mages in hopeless battle. You lead me to strange places, Hawk.
I'll take you to stranger places than this. Just watch.
A tempting offer. I may not get the chance to say this again. Meeting you was the most important thing that ever happened to me, Hawk. Promise me you won't die. I can't bear the thought of living without you.
I didn't quite catch that. Could you speak up?
Then let me make it clearer for you.
I'm good. He didn't say the thing. Well, that's fine. Do I want to go back and try again? I don't know if it's at this conversation. It's that if there is a future to be had, I will walk into it gladly at your side. And I'm like, ugh, wowie. Wowie. It's just very romantic is the thing. It's just very romantic is the thing. I don't know if we had that already. I know we got the nothing could be worse than the thought of living without you, which is, again, very, whew, it's just, is it warm in here or is it just me? Like, wow. That's the thing, I didn't know if it was this conversation or
the
not.
battle is almost upon us.
You don't believe there's a chance
Come on.
of winning this fight?
With you on our side? Perhaps. But even if we win, what then?
They
More
might be.
Templars would come, with even larger armies. We are apostates now. Our only hope lies in the circles elsewhere in Thedas. They could rise up with us against this injustice.
I just don't remember getting it in the earlier conversation, so I was hoping it was this one, but...
Let
Well.
the games begin.
Very well.
I love Purple Hawk.
You will need to give orders to your companions, and I will do the same for my people.
Yep. Righty. Well, we're obviously gonna have the crew. Sorry, Anders.
What about
I'm not
me?
gonna have you.
What should I do?
We could use some healing. Or
Yeah,
any
you
other
just
spells
get the fucking healing going.
I'll try to keep you in sight then.
Meryl, attack from a distance. Stay out of the fight as much as you can.
I will.
Aveline, charge in whenever you see an opening.
Very well.
Isabella, I want you to fight from stealth. Keep them confused.
Sounds like fun.
Anders would not
So,
be in timeout
This is it.
if
Some
I
of you
didn't
are
have my
worried.
brother with me.
Maybe I am too.
But, like, I'm sorry,
not
Carver
staying
does
long
take
enough to find
precedence.
out. What I know
Yeah,
is that I don't
she can
like
handle
being
it.
cornered. And I can fight harder scared than they can angry.
Hell
We're
yeah.
getting out. And I'm buying when we do.
Champion, it is beginning.
I bulked up her, I bulked up her defense.
Here they come! Stop them!
Yep. I will do that. Oh, come on. Half of them don't even have staves. Get his ass! Oh. Okay. Alright, I was not immortal. Let me make sure. Can I level Carver up? Yes, I can. Let's make sure that we get... It's all Constitution. It's all Constitution on you, my boy. Like, fucking all of it. Yeah, we'll give you that one. Alright, well. Where are they? They're over this way. Great. Fantastic. Let's pop one of these lads down here. Get the dog out. These out. What do we got? Oh, there's a lane. No, I don't want to be Fenris. Let's drop another of these lads down. Drop that. Is that it? Huh.
Look at it all. Why don't they just drown us as infants?
Jeez.
Why wait? Why give us the illusion of hope? I refuse to keep running. I won't wait for her to kill me.
I hope you aren't giving up without taking a shot at Meredith.
I am not giving up. I am giving in.
Did it? Now that, I think, was the mod that I'm hoping. Hell yeah. That's the mod! That's the mod that I wasn't sure that I had installed! Skip the Harvester fight. No Harvester! That never happened. He's fine. So, in case you don't know, in the normal game, at that point, Orsino goes full, rage, despair-y, and turns himself and all of the other mages into this horrible meat golem monster thing called a harvester. and Hawk has to kill them, which is bullshit, and I don't like it. So, so I have a mod that gets rid of that, and I always just assume that even in the version where that happens, that was Varric lying. Varric lied. He helped Orsino fake his own death. Orsino is fine. Orsino was out there, was out there fighting in the Mage Templar War, which, spoiler alert, is about to happen. Staff of Violation, old friend. First Enchanter Casimira was no blood mage. Hogwash. Your story of her investing dark arts into the staff is just that, a fable. Casimira was, in fact, the first leader of Kirkwall's Circle of Magi. She was saddled with the great task of transforming a decrepit, crumbling prison into a proper home for mages transferred to her from all over Thedas. Some of those mages were apostates, men and women one step away from being rendered tranquil, and it was her unfortunate task to keep order. How many battles did she fight in those early days? How much blood was spilled on these grounds? Casimira had to be a hard woman, but she did it to keep the Templars from declaring the right of annulment and killing us all. And your other rumor that she was arrested by the First Knight Commander? I'm telling you it isn't so. I have studied the records, and the truth of the matter is that Casimira was taken by a demon and slain before she could endanger the tower. The Templars admired her strength in holding the demon back long enough for them to act. It was a noble sacrifice, and Casimira's staff was kept by the First Enchanters to commemorate this. It saddens me that people choose to dwell on its form rather than the lesson it signifies. A letter by First Enchanter Orsino from 926 Dragon. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Orsino is fine. The whole Harvester thing never really made sense. It always felt like they just threw it in there because they wanted a mini-boss fight before the final battle. And it's like, okay, so regardless of, like, anyone's character motivations or what makes sense or anything like that, it's like, and Orsino goes crazy. And I'm like, no. No. Right, exactly. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense for that to happen so quick. He's just like, it's fine, we'll be all right, this is gonna be tough, but we can't let them win, we have to do everything we can to survive above all. And then he's just like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna kill us all. And like, no, that doesn't make any sense. The character motivations are all wrong. So anyway, I have absolutely, he's literally not impulsive is the thing. Like, that's the whole thing about him, is that he would not have been such a successful First Enchanter if he were that impulsive. His entire thing is that he's been able, exactly, he's unimpulsive. He has been able to stand as First Enchanter and protect his people against Meredith for this many years because he's so good at what he does, because he cares so much about the mages in the Gallows. And so it doesn't make sense for him to just immediately be like, all right, time to turn us all into a horrible, nasty monster and destroy everything. I'm like, or the easier explanation, Varric lied. Varric lied! We already have the perfect framing device. This entire thing is a story being told to Cassandra by a liar! By a liar who is doing everything he can to twist Varric lie? To twist events to protect his friends. Like, yeah, he lied. Obviously. You really think they would do that? You really think Varric would do that? Just go out there and tell lies? Yes. 100% yes. Oh. Make sure that I loot. Oh, it's demons. Oh, turn that shit back on! Exactly. Absolutely appalling. Varric just lies? Oh, can we, hello? Hello? Oh shit, there's 3 of them. Oh boy. Well, let's come over here. Let's slam one of these boys down. Oh, this is the way. Sandal? Hey, Sandal, why once again have I come, Say, Sandal? Good question. Very good question. Let's sell the shit. Oh, but more to the point, let's put some fucking runes on this shit. I think he survived? We're gonna give you some more physical damage for sure. What have I got? Well, you can have fire. I guess I'm gonna give you the Primeval Lyrium rune. Oh, I could have been putting this shit. No, select the armor. Back. We're gonna go to, yeah, Robes of the Champion. The Rune of Protection is gonna go into there. And, ooh, holy shit. Yeah, I think he survived. He's fine. No need to worry about it. The Celebrant. Like, sure, why not? Clearly, I did not make enough runes. I should have been making more runes this entire time. Sell all junk. Cassandra's. We are seeing Cassandra's imagination, and that, for more headcanons, that's the reason why all of the things look the same, why they reuse all the maps. Her imagination's just not that good. It's all Cassandra's imagination. That is really good. Orsino Signet Ring. That's nice. All this shit in here. I'm not going to use any of this. Oh, I didn't give that to Meryl. Whoops. It's fine. I don't need to do any. Ooh, but what we will be doing is we're going to be buying Hellsome Health Potions. Yeah. Look how much money I have. Am I even gonna get down under 1,000 after having bought all? No, I'm not. I still have over 1,000 sovereigns. Yes. Well, she's somewhere talking to Varric, presumably Kirkwall. We haven't seen much of the room that they're in. All right, well. He's somewhere we haven't really seen. Where is the way out? It's this way. Let's go through the doors, first of all. Oh. Well, that's fine. I'm just gonna look back up for a second. I would like to... Oh! You're there. Okay. Well... Exactly. Oh, is this the way I was supposed to go? I don't like that. Exactly. That's why this game is so good. It comes like with a built-in explanation for all of these things. If anything happened in this game that you don't like, no it didn't. Varric was lying. Like, easy. Exactly! It's one of my absolute favorite things about Dragon Age 2, where it's just like, if you don't like anything about the game, it doesn't have to be true. It's so good. Oh, they're all praying together. Oh, well, that's not good. Oh, it's a desire demon! Well, yeah, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it. Well, did we, hello? To get everything out of that chest. Let's get the desire demon. Alright, cool. Now we can go this way. We already got them all, or are there going to be more people rushing out to try and kill us? Oh, there's a door over there. Yeah, more people are going to rush out to try and kill us. Let's get the dog. It could. Oh, I don't want to carve her. There we go. That's also good. Because let's be real. He hates caves.
Messing with us is suicidal.
Varric canonically hates the outdoors, so like, yeah. What's in here? Oh. Skeletons. Cool. Let's drop one of these lads down there. You what now? Oh my god, there's an arcane horror. Okay, well that would explain. Hold on, actually. Would you like a little heal? Yep. Exactly! It makes perfect sense! Let's grab that boy and get a little crushing prison on him.
That was beautiful.
Great. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing any lore. I clearly don't need any more items.
Easy as pie.
Oh. A master lock. Give me a hot sec.
Piece of cake.
Templar ceremonial cummerbund. Thank you. When a Templar takes his vows and enters the service of Andraste, he is presented with a suit of ceremonial armor to be worn when in the presence of the Grand Cleric. Every piece of the armor is covered in the iconography of Blessed Andraste. The cummerbund is wide, made of interlocking steel plates inlaid with gold and adorned with 208 embossed stars along the edging, one for each day Andraste sung to the Maker to deliver her people. The center plate depicts in bas relief the burning sword of mercy. Beside it is a shield representing the disciple Havard. On the other side is a ring split in half which symbolizes Mafrath. The buckle is formed like a sun, representing the Maker. On the steel interface of each plate, a line of the Chant of Light is written. The last is an interesting touch, concealed artistic flair or an overt cheat sheet at Mass. An excerpt from the Chantry, an introspective by Sister Petri and Chantry Scholar. Oh, I don't need to be Varric. I need to be Hawk. because we need to go over here and see what's in this fun little courtyard. I don't think I've ever actually explored. Oh. Oh. So, you know, in case we were really missing having one more boss fight, don't worry. We've got 2 pride demons. Oh god. Let's get that through. What a fun little Christian prison in you. It's scary! Right. Oh, there's more of you assholes. Okay. A lot of demons around here.
One less to worry about.
Great. Good job, team. Shield of the Resolute. Okay, here we go. The Shield of the Resolute was once worn by Knight Commander Raynor of Starkhaven. Raynor's father crafted this shield for him when Raynor was recruited to the Templar Order. It was plain and unadorned when it first left the anvil, a simple shield for a smith's son. Raynor proved himself on a mission to rescue several mages from a demon. Upon seeing the creature, the other Templars fell back in fear. Only Raynor held position, his father's shield in front of him. He killed the demon and saved both the mages and his fellow Templars. Raynor's heroism earned him respect. His superiors, his colleagues, and the mages of Starkhaven Circle saw him a fair and honorable Templar. He was Knight Commander by 35. Raynor's shield was modified over the years and enchanted at least twice. By the time Raynor passed the shield on to his successor, it no longer looked as it did when Raynor first strapped it to his arm. It had become a shield worthy of a Knight Commander. Cool. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. Here we go! Out into the gallows courtyard. Yep, here we go.
And here we are, champion. At long last.
I imagine you've wanted to be rid of me for some time.
I bear you no ill will.
Hey, Colin, you look a little bit worried there.
You're never part of this
You look a little bit worried there, my dude.
But in defending them, you've chosen to share their fate.
Knight Commander, I thought we intended to arrest the champion.
He's standing up for me.
You will do as I command, Cullen.
No. I defended you when Thrask started whispering you were mad. This is too far.
Hey!
Not allow
Hey!
We must stay true to our path.
Andraste's dimpled butt cheeks.
You recognize it, do you not? Your lyrium, taken from the deep roads. The dwarf charged a great deal for his prize.
It seems a lot more sword-like than I remember.
So that's what Bartrand did with the idol.
I want her dead!
Enough! This is not what the order stands
Cullen!
for. Knight Commander,
That's downright
down.
decent of you.
I relieve you of your command.
My own knight captain falls prey to the influence of blood magic. You all have. You're all weak. Allowing the mages to control your minds, to turn you against me.
The sound on that sword.
But I don't need any of you. I will protect this city myself.
Yep.
You'll have to go through me.
Idiot boy.
Cullen!
Just like all the others.
She's lost it. Just like Bartrand.
I know. She's very crazy. Hey.
Stand before the corrupt and the wicked, and do not falter.
That's a lot. Let's make sure I'm immortal. Yeah. Who am I also gonna keep alive? We're gonna keep Fenris alive. You know what? We're gonna keep all the lads alive. I don't have time for this shit. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get the dog out. Did you just smite me? She just silenced me. Do you see this? My mana! I should have been ready for that, honestly. Aw, Cullen's out there fighting! That's a good boy.
Maker, your servant begs you for the strength to defeat this evil.
Ooh, that doesn't look healthy. Oh, shit. Hey, that super doesn't look healthy. Whoopsie! Hey, that's fucked up. Don't like that. Right? It did. I'm so proud of Cullen. Like, think about where he was at the end of Dragon Age Origins. And where he was at the beginning of this game. And where he is now. Can I attack it? Or do I just have to, like, run away? Nope, no, I can attack it. Great. Get that one there. Ooh, let's not do that. Let's... Yep, let's get you. Let's get you. Oh, nope, I do not want to be... Wait, who else is here? Oh, there's Aveline! We got Cullen and we got Aveline now. There's Anders! Alright, there you are, Meredith. Let's give you a fun little crushing prison. And then I think a freeze. And then a fun little spiritual... There, can we get that? Can we get a stone fist, perhaps? Would you like a stone fist? Would that be good for you? Would you like that? Would that be good for you? No, she was not. She simply controlled it. Oh, where'd she go? Nope, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Oh, she's up there again. She's gonna call in another boy. Okay. And there's Isabella! Yeah, we've got Carver, we've got... That's a Gate Guardian. That's Cullen, we got Isabella, we got Fenris over there, Aveline, Anders. Are those the only lads we've got in so far? Looks like it. Oh, that was very stabby of you. I don't like that. Don't do that. Alright, we got you. Where's... Oh, nope, she's calling in the lads. Okay, great. Let's get these. Oh, fuck off, fuck off. Ugh. Nope, there she is. Oh, nope, don't hit me, don't hit me. I don't like that. Bianca's seriously working overtime. Not doing anything? Is she immune? She is immune. Well, let's in the meantime get that boy then. Ooh, there's lots of you. Oh geez, she's about to explode. Woohoo! Oh, honestly, right? Okay, can we hit Meredith yet? Oh, good, she's being damaged now. Let's get a stone fist over her. Alright, do we have any new lads in here yet? Oh, geez. Alright. Oh, they're all over the place. Okay, cool. I was not noticing anyone behind me. We've got Aveline, we got Isabella, we've got Fenris, Anders, Varric, obviously. Carver. I think that's all, but let's drop these lads down real quick. Oh, he's behind me. I'm hoping for more allies to come in here. Oh no! Oh, he's up again. Okay, alright. Oh boy, there's a lot of boys. Yeah, dog. Let's get dog. Thank you. Oh, okay, she's up there again. Let's come over this way. Oh, that's spewing fire. I don't like that. Is there? What is that? No! There he is! There he is! There's Zevran! I was hoping Zevran would show up. Dude, we're gonna get Nathaniel is the thing. I think at least once I've gotten Nathaniel. Oh, shoot, let's back up here. Don't do that. Oh, yep, that.
It's not enough that they make innocents suffer. No! We must also have insult added to injury. Spare the mages. Give them freedom. And they will use it to tear down everything we hold dear. No, it cannot be allowed. I will stop it.
Could I...
Hear me, champion. I will defeat you.
Could you not stun me? Could you stop stunning me? Let's drop another of these lads down. Okay, here. Where is my dearly beloved? Are they not here anymore? They might not be here anymore. For a brief period, Zevran was here. Hey, don't be mean to Aveline. Hey, she just stabbed Aveline. Oh, did we get her? Hell yeah.
I will not be defeated. Make her hate your humble servant.
That could be it. That could be it entirely. Gruesome. Don't worry. We're past the point of dog. We're past the point of anything now. Don't touch that, man. Maybe.
Word of the slaughter spread quickly.
So how's that for an
Champion's
ending?
name became a rallying cry, a reminder that the mighty Templars could be defied. She had defended the mages against a brutal injustice, and many lived to tell the tale. The circles rose up and set the world on fire. More Templars arrived at Kirkwall to restore order, but we were already long gone. We vanished into the hills, and circumstance eventually forced us all to leave the champion's side. Well, all of us except for Fenris. You still hear the stories, of course. With each telling they grow, even if at the core remains the truth. A new legend had been born.
How about that?
So that's it. That's the whole story.
Then Meredith provoked the Circle. She was to blame.
Or that damned idol was. Or Anders. Take your pick.
I think it's a nice tie
Even
between
so,
Meredith and the
had
idol.
the champion not been there.
It might never have even gone that far.
I see.
Who's to say?
So how is hearing all this going to help? You've already lost all the circles.
They've what now?
In fact, haven't the Templars rebelled as well? I thought you decided to abandon the Chantry to hunt the mages.
Not all of us desire war, Varric. Please, if you know where the champion is, you must tell me. She is a hero. A woman that the mages would listen to. Someone who was there at the beginning. The champion could stop this madness before it's too late. She may be the only one who can.
Is that what this is all about? In that case, I wish I could help you.
Just tell me one thing, then. Is the champion dead?
Though, I doubt that.
Then you are free to go, Varric. May the Maker watch over you during the dark times ahead of us.
Same to you, Seeker. Same to you.
So yeah, it was in Hawk's house. That's where all this was taking place.
Did you? Gone. Just like the Warden.
Well.
That is no coincidence.
So, do we proceed with the original plan? Or keep looking?
Right.
It is in the Maker's hands now. We put our faith in him.
Well, there you go. Are we gonna get the song?
I'm not calling you a liar.
Hell yeah!
Just don't lie to me.
It's Florence and the Machine.
I'm not calling you a
Fun fact, this is the first version of this song that I ever heard. And I went looking for it afterwards, and all I could find was the version that's like on her album, and I was sitting there listening to it like, no, I don't want this version. So I went and I ripped the Dragon Age 2 version. So now I have this version. It's so good. It is time for the stretch. There were the knuckles. I think I either found a download or I ripped it off of YouTube. I can throw it in the Discord. I can track down the file and throw it in there, I'm sure. Oh, it's like I spilled something on my shirt. I know what it is. It's caramel. That's fine. I was eating candy earlier. Wow, yeah. Well, I hope we're all ready for the PowerPoint. I'm gonna wait for this song to be over. And then we're gonna get into it. So what did we think? What do we think of the ending? Other than my opinion, which is that Anders did nothing wrong ever. And I support him and all of his choices. He's right. Anytime the mages try and bring up any of the injustices that are being done, the Chantry's like, oh, okay, well, let's all calm down here. Let's not Let's not get antsy. Let's not get uppity. We'll stop. We'll stop, and everything calms down just long enough for everyone to look away, and then they start right back up again. He's right. There can be no compromise. We're gonna put all of this out in the open. You don't get to just exactly. The first Stonewall was a riot. I'm just saying, you don't politely ask for rights for people who don't want to give them to you. It doesn't work. There were a lot of memes. Oh, well, I clicked and it skipped through. Sorry about that. I did not mean to do that. The song was almost over anyway. Yeah, Red Lyrium definitely seems bad. Sure glad that that's gone forever. That's gonna be... I'm glad about that. That's gonna be nice not to see that ever again. Let me get ready. All of the memes are basically about the Chantry Boom. They're all of the funny ones. All of the funny memes that I have from Dragon Age 2 are about Anders and what he did. So I'm very excited to be able to bring those up now. Alright, give me a hot sec. Excuse me. Give me a hot sec to get the PowerPoint pulled up, and then we'll get ready to go. So snap in your seatbelts. Go get a drink or something, because I'm gonna get this PowerPoint going, and we'll be right back. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Very proud of you. Is everything working? Are we good? Let me try. Can I view my own stream? Can I view the stream? Yes, we're on. We're live. Is everything visible? I'm remembering once again that once this is up, I can't actually see anything going on in the chat. I can't monitor my stream because it's covering both my monitors. So I can see the chat on my phone. We should be okay. I thought I hit the wrong button. I'll tell you this. If you redeem the no voice thing during this, it will be pushed to the end of the PowerPoint, and it will simply happen while we play the game. Fuck! Alright, fine. Let me go ahead and do it. There you go. Have a fun time out. You asked for it, you got it. Toyota. Is that Toyota? Anyway. Here we are. We're back at it again at Krispy Kreme with Book Report 2, Electric Boogaloo. We're going to be going over what happened in The Masked Empire and Asunder, because those are the two books that take place in between Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. And both of them have some kind of interesting things in them. I'm going to take this off because they're uncomfy. Have some interesting stuff that might be good to know going forward into Inquisition. I played Inquisition for the very first time without having read them, and let me just say, The Masked Empire in particular would have changed some of my choices in Inquisition. So I'm glad that I've read them now, and I'm going to be going over this shit. So, first things first, first one we're going to go into is The Masked Empire. I finished all of these things very, very shortly before the stream, and so I don't have any of the fancy little things set up so that it puts the bullet points in one by one. You get them all at once. Here we go. So The Masked Empire. It takes place, like, very, very soon after the end of the game. It's almost immediate, probably weeks after the end of Dragon Age 2. It's about the Eurasian Empire and Empress Celine, so I will tell you that I started reading it, and I disliked Orlesians the very first time I read it, but now having gone through several years, I think, of marinating in Dragon Age lore, I was so angry reading this book. This book made me fucking furious. I got 20 pages into it, and I'm just like, I would like to commit murder, actually. I hate it here. So that's going to be a fun time for us. I thought that I would structure this kind of interestingly for this time. I'm still trying to figure out what the best format for a book report is, but here we go. We're going to introduce the people, first of all. These are the people that are important in these books and what we know about them. First up, our girl Briala. She's the main character, or the point of view character, in The Masked Empire. She's the most important person ever. She is Celine's handmaid and also her lover. They are romantically involved. They possibly should be, but I don't speak French. So, she definitely uses the fact that she has influence over Celine to make things better for the elves, specifically in the palace, but also just in Orlais in general. She's also a spy. And I got some stuff from the book laying out, how she does her job, how she notices things. The most famous spies in Orlais were the bards. They were legendary for their ability to ferret out information, to lay intrigue, and dissemble with skill enough to turn nobles to their purposes. They were invited to play despite this, and sometimes even because of it. The lords and ladies who played the game always fancied themselves cunning enough to match wits with a master of lies and learn something from the exchange. But even as the bards outplayed the nobles, they were watched. They were famous. They were legendary. Briala was just another elf in the market, and the elves were everywhere. As an elf and a commoner, Briala could not even defend herself from insult or assault, at least not while wearing the Valmont family servant's mask. Her strength lay in her invisibility, in the way the nobles she served would say things to each other in the little noble's code of metaphors and euphemisms, never guessing that she understood what they were saying and was passing every word to Celine. As she had watched Celine's family play the game, Briala had trained in the greatest weapons a lady possessed, her eyes and ears. So there's Briala. Then we got Celine, Empress Celine Valmont I, the ruler of Orlais. She extensively funded the arts. She's funded universities. She actually also strong-armed a lot of the universities in Orlais into accepting elves which they were reluctant to do at first. She's comparatively progressive. She became the ruler of Orlais at the age of 16. But we've also heard of her previously. Her name came up in Dragon Age Origins, specifically in Return to Ostagar, when we found various letters of Kaelin's. And if marrying into Ferelden is no longer an option, I fear it is not. Selene had once in her younger years hoped to do through marriage what Megran and his apocryphal Mabari had failed to do by force. With the strength of Ferelden behind it willingly, the Orlesian Empire would have had the power to drive back Navarran aggression and even give Tevinter pause. Unfortunately, King Kaelin had already been married at the time. Given how much blood had been shed to put a new king on Ferelden's throne, and how much Ferelden still had to rebuild after the most recent blight, any perceived manipulation from Orlais would be taken as another attack. She could have married another Ferelden noble, of course, but that would have caused the opposite problem. The more warlike nobles, like Gaspard, would clutch at their sword even if Selene married a Ferelden king, indignant that the empress of the world's greatest nation had lowered herself to marry the king of the Dog Lords instead of one of them. If she married anything less, too many more would agree with them. And in her heart, Selene honestly would as well. The fucking contempt for Ferelden there. She's just like, ugh. I could steel myself to marry the king of Ferelden, but anything else, ugh, I would hate myself too much to marry any other Ferelden. Like, bitch, get over yourself. So she was definitely the one who was like sending flirty letters to what's his face, Kaelin. Yeah. And Eamon being like, oh man, maybe you want to divorce Honora and marry Selene. So Logan was very, very pissed about that when he found those letters. And he was right too, because this is clearly manipulation from Selene. She absolutely has no respect for Ferelden. She's only thinking about how she could use it to make Orlais more powerful. The idea that Kaelin would have divorced Honora in order to marry Selene is absolutely appalling. So Logan was right to be angry about that. So that's Selene. Then we've got my boy Michel de Chavannes. He's a chevalier. He's specifically Selene's champion, her primary soldier, her chief, her head dude. He trained at the Académie des Chevaliers. I mean, he sure is a dude, huh? He shows up a lot in this book though, so he's kind of important. And then the other important dude to know about is the Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon. He's also a chevalier. He is Selene's cousin. He hates her. He wants the throne. He's even worse than Selene. He doesn't even pretend to care about elves. As far as he's concerned, yeah. As far as he's concerned, like, the Orlesian nobility is so far above everyone else, and everyone else is just, ugh, so disgusting, so beneath them. Ugh. Imagine them wanting rights. Ugh, they should know their place. We hate Gaspard. And then the last person who's important here is Phalassin, who is a Dalish elf. So Brialla met Phalassin years ago, kind of like right before Selene became empress. At that time, there was an assassination attempt against Selene, and it killed pretty much all of the servants in her palace, including Brialla's parents. Selene found Brialla and told her to run off to the Dalish, and later Brialla found out that the attack was actually ordered by one of Selene's allies, Lady Mantion, who knew that it would make Selene look sympathetic and would gain her a lot of support, and she didn't care about sacrificing the servants in order to achieve that, including Brialla's parents. So adding a little bit here onto Brialla, her parents were killed by Lady Mantion. She eventually later found Lady Mantion and killed her in revenge. Oh, thank you. Hi, good to see you. The 30 outstanding gamer points. Good to see you. Happy New Year. I'm going over the PowerPoint. I just finished Dragon Age 2, and I'm going over my PowerPoint book report about what happened in the two books that take place in between Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. So anyway, back to the attack. Selene told Brialla to run to the Dalish, where she met Phalassin, who told her, basically, he heard what Celine wanted. Yeah, or he heard what Briala hoped for to help the elves, and said basically, if you want to improve life for the elves in the city, you should go back to Celine. So she did. She never actually made it to the Dalish. He's very, very mysterious. He never actually says what clan he's from. He makes a lot of jokes. He doesn't seem to take anything very seriously. But he's got secrets. There's something interesting about him. Oh, scuba is another acronym. I forget what that is for. I used to know that at one point. Nah, I've lost it. I 100% used to know that one. But anyway, there's another bit of info here. Phalastin opened his eyes. My name among our people means slow arrow. It comes from a story in which the god Fen'Harel was asked by a village to kill a great beast. He came to the beast at dawn, saw its strength, and knew it would slay him if he fought it. So instead, he shot an arrow straight up into the sky. The villagers asked Fen'Harel how he would save them, and he said to them, "When did I say that I would save you?" And he left. And the great beast came into the village that night and killed the warriors and the women and the elders. It came to the children and opened its great maw, but then the arrow that Fen'Harel had loosed fell from the sky into the great beast's mouth and killed it. The children of the village wept for their parents and elders, but still they made an offering to Fen'Harel of thanks, for he had done what the villagers had asked. He had killed the beast with his cunning and a slow arrow that the beast never noticed. Briella thought about the story for a moment. Her teacher would disapprove if she jumped to conclusions. Fen'Harel the trickster, never truly on anyone's side. Fen'Harel was a sneaky bastard that way, according to the old stories, Phalastin said. And you were the slow arrow? Phalastin smiled. I hope so. Satisfying, chilling, underrated, big amazement. Excellent! I like it. So, back to him. He's also a mage and a somniari, or a dreamer. So kind of like Fainriel back in Dragon Age 2. He's the same kind of thing. He could go into the Fade and manipulate it around him and communicate with people in dreams. So those are the important people to know here. And then we got what happened in the story. First of all, we have the first ball. It was kind of just like, you know, your introductory scene, set things up. Gaspard tried to make Celine look bad. Briella stopped it, kind of setting up the dynamics between everyone, and letting everyone know, you know, what everyone's capable of. And it kind of puts you right in the middle of the grand game. Yeah. Well, I mean, making up acronyms is always fun. So here is where I have all of the trail of events and not Celine, Briella figuring out what's going on and managing to stop Gaspard's plan. What was more, a few stray locks of the Chatelaine's hair had been caught under her mask, a faux pas that was completely unacceptable for any servant in the Imperial Palace. The Chatelaine could not have failed to notice it unless she had removed her mask and then put it back on quickly. Oh, no need to worry, Rabbit. The Chatelaine patted Briella familiarly on the shoulder. As she did, Briella saw that the clasp on the other woman's cuff was unfastened, another mistake that the servants who dressed the Chatelaine would never have made. It's just to put the fear of the Maker in the lazy things. We'd never whip you. Off with you now. The Chatelaine had served Celine faithfully for more than a decade. She cared deeply about her job and would never allow herself to be distracted on the day of a ball unless she were somehow compromised. The clasp in the stray hair suggested a new lover who had pressed his or her suit and taken a few moments of the Chatelaine's time. It could have been nothing more than that, of course, but in Val Royeaux everything was part of the game, even the clandestine affairs of the more important servants. Briella had grown up watching the game, and as one of Celine's pieces, she was determined to win. You there, knife ear! Unlike Rabbit, which was usually spoken with a friendly condescension that only made Briella grit her teeth a little, Knife ear could never be mistaken for anything but an insult. And this is the captain of the guard saying it. More important to Briella, one of the buckles on his breastplate was askew, and he had the welt from a love bite just below one ear. The captain of the guard was carrying on with the Chatelaine, and his attentions had clearly been meant to harass her until she left, to distract her from looking down at the hedge maze below, which was why he had moved to block her view. From what Briella remembered, the captain had been brought in recently after his predecessor had died. Before that, the man had served in the military. Briella didn't know where, but given Grand Duke Gaspard's popularity with the soldiers, she knew who and where. All that was left was to find out what. Oh, thanks for the lurk! Miss Bria! Briella turned to see one of the elves who worked in the kitchen hurrying her way. I was told to find you. Thank you, Disarel. Briella smiled at the young woman. What have you found? Disarel lowered her voice and tugged at her sleeve nervously with thin fingers. The chatelaine added a bard, Melisandre, to tonight's guest list. So, Gaspard smuggles in a sword that he claims belonged to Moira Theron. He made all sorts of insulting comments about the sword, and about Moira, and about Ferelden, who was trying to get a rise out of Ban Tegan Guerin, who was there at the ball as well. So Celine stepped in when she saw Tegan getting angry, and she said that since Orlais had insulted Ferelden, her champion, Michel de Chavannes, would be glad to duel Tegan in exchange for this, to, make up for this slight to Ferelden. But since Celine and Michel would be the ones, by the rules of a duel, they would be the ones to choose the weapons, Celine chose feathers. And so she turned the entire thing into a joke and made all of the nobles there laugh. And, the scene also made it quite clear that Celine is trying to figure out what to do about the tensions between the mages and Templars after Kirkwall. I get the feeling that it's something more like a housekeeper. I don't know exactly what it means. Possibly related to the word chateau? So she wants the divine to step in, but is trying to figure out how to convince the divine. And I have a blank slide in here for no reason. I think it was because I was going to put a map in here about Halam Shiral. Going back here, yeah, she wants the divine to step in and, say something to calm the mages and the Templars down. So she's planning to hold a ball in honor of the divine and get the divine to attend and use that to convince her. Meanwhile, over in Halam Shiral, which I believe is to the east and slightly south of Val Royeaux, it's solidly in the Dales. It's really only technically not an alienage. The slums are basically where the elves live, and the nobles venture into them pretty much at will to just kill elves. It was a rite of passage in particular for chevaliers to go into the slums and kill them for fun. When the trials at the academy were done, Michel and the other senior students were taken out into the city. They were taken away from the palace, from the history books, from the tales of glory. They were driven in coaches into the slums after dark. Your bodies have been tested and found strong, the masters had said. Your minds have been tested and found sharp. The masters had passed around a skin of strong wine, pushed the students out of the coaches, and said, Now, test your blades. Thrice this year, the elves of these streets have done injury to a lord of Orlais, and once to a lady. Go forth and mete out the justice of the chevaliers of Orlais. Michel had known that the tale the magisters had told was most likely a lie, and that even if it were true, they had no way of knowing which elves had committed the crime. He had also known that the truth was not the point of this last test. He had drunk the wine and tested his blade. Yes. Thank you for that. So, shit in Halam Shiral is not great. But it gets worse right now. In the slums of Halam Shiral one night, an elven boy throws a rock at the carriage of one of the nobles, Lord Mansarai, because they'd killed his mother. The carriage stopped and the guards went out to see who had thrown it. Another elf, who was on his way home from the tavern, pulled the boy out of the way and took the blame for him, and the guards killed him instead. A rock sailed out of the darkness and clanged off the shoulder of one of the guards. After a moment, Lemet, the other elf, picked out the elven boy standing in the shadows with another rock raised. The boy's face was twisted in anger, and his other hand was clenched into a fist. The horses shrieked as the coach came to a stop. Lemet ran across the street, half-hunched, ignoring Thren's shocked whisper behind him. He grabbed the boy's shoulder, spoiling his next throw, and the boy spun and tried to hit him. Lemet caught his wrist. They killed my mother, the boy said, pulling against Lemet's grip. They can't come down this street after what they did to her, the boy insisted. They can't. A crushing force slammed Lemet against the wall, and he fell hard. He rolled over as a boot caught him hard in the ribs and stared up into the angry face of one of the guards. Not the one who'd been hit by the rock. Did you find the little curs? Came a lazy voice from the coach. The guard looked at Lemet, who wore mud-stained but still serviceable work clothes, then at the boy, who wore stolen rags and still held a rock in his hand. The guard moved towards the boy. Lynette grabbed the guard's boot. "How many of them were there?" came the voice from the coach again. The guard looked hard at the boy, then at Lynette, and finally gave a tiny nod. "Just this one, Lord Mansarai," the guard said, and pulled Lynette out of the alley. As the guard who'd been hit by the rock came toward Lynette, sword drawn, Lynette shut his eyes and thanked the Maker that some humans were better than others. So shit's not good. Gaspard made his first move after that. Celine was going to host a hunt and invited a whole bunch of the other nobles around there. Gaspard used his bard, Melisandre, to incapacitate and capture Michel de Chavannes to get him out of the way so that he could approach Celine during the hunt. He proposed to Celine. He didn't really expect her to accept. She obviously refused him, and so he attempted to stage a hunting accident. She avoided him, and Gaspard made it quite clear that he planned to lead a coup against her. He was going to start making moves against Celine after this. So Celine sent Briala to track down what had happened to Michel de Chavannes, and she went and met with Phalassin to try and, get his help to find Michel. In the meantime, the bard had captured him and had gone digging to find some dirt on him. And it turns out that his patron, who had, got him into the academy, had forged the documents saying that he was a noble. And she figured out over the course of the conversation that his mother had been an elf, both of which would completely invalidate any claim to be a chevalier. This would humiliate him because he's Celine's champion. It would humiliate Celine as well. So we can add that onto here as well. He's not a noble, and he's a half-elf. So, Briala and Phalassin showed up. They took care of the soldiers, and Briala actually figured out very, very quickly what the bard had figured out, but she promised to keep Michel's secret on the condition that he owe her one favor sometime in the future. And that's going to be important. No one else called anyone a turnip, unfortunately. Sadly, it would have been good, but we mostly saw Gaspard and Celine, being nasty to each other. Various members of their families had killed each other. There's a lot of bad blood between them. But yeah. Anyway, they break Michel out. Phalassin burned the warehouse down where they were keeping him. But the elf who owned the warehouse actually later told Gaspard about what had happened. So Gaspard figured out that Briala was the one to come and rescue Michel. So Briala has kind of been outed to Gaspard, at least, that she's a spy. Meanwhile, we just heard about what was happening in Halam Shiral. Shit's bad. Shit's bad over there. The other elves were furious about Lamette's death. In the slums of Halam Shiral, whispers blew on the embers of rebellion. Cruelty from the nobles was nothing new. Every elf in the city knew to look down when a human walked by. The elven women learned early on how dangerous it could be to travel alone or look too pretty. The elven merchants knew the fine dance of protesting enough that the nobles paid some of what they owed, but not protesting so much that their houses were put to the torch. It was not love, but it was known and tolerated and accepted as the way of the world. Lamette's death was unacceptable. Lamette wasn't gutter trash, they whispered, but Lord Mansurai's men had stabbed him, then hacked him apart and hung pieces of the body throughout the city like the worst kind of criminal. If they could do this to a good elf like Lamette, who never made trouble, what might they do to everyone else? Lamette had died protecting a runner, the thieves whispered. Whatever he did to make his coin, he was a true elf at heart, and the Shems who'd cut him down like a dog had been trying to tell every elf in the slums that they owned those streets. It was past time the humans learned that there were always more rocks to throw. Yes, this is Orlais. This is primarily in Val Royeaux, though Halam Shiral is another city. Originally built by the elves, back in the days of the Dales. Comte Pierre of Halam Shiral, who had indulged Lord Mansurai's activities as long as no humans were hurt, ordered the patrols increased throughout the slums of the city. A group of elves returning home from a late night's work were harassed and beaten by the guards. The next morning, the guards were found dead in the market square, their ears hacked off in the manner used on elven bandits. Compiègne sent his chevaliers into the slums to make an example. They killed 10 elves who didn't have the sense to stay indoors, and awoke the next day to find that someone had killed their stablemen and slit their horses' throats. So the elves of Halam Shiral started fighting back about this. They decided they'd had enough. Yes, this is like very, very soon after the end of Dragon Age 2. All of this is going on while the mages and Templars are like, there's some rumbling happening there. The news about what Anders had done had kind of spread, and no one was happy about this. The elves were kind of making, not the elves, the mages were kind of making noises. So anyway, Philasson brought this news about the elves to Briala in Val Royeaux before anyone else knew there. "We never know where the lightning will strike in the dry forest," Philasson said as he sat down in the grass, "but I can smell the smoke." He gave her the particulars, the name of the lord and the dead elf, for what little that mattered. "So the elves will rebel? They'll be crushed. This is..." She broke off and started to pace angrily. "Do they think this will help the Empress? This is the last thing she needs." "The friends of the butcher tradesmen will be heartbroken," Philasson said. "I imagine they're constantly considering Celine's needs." "They had better," Briala spun on him. "She's bending the divine to her cause. She's dealing with Gaspard. If this hurts her, do you think Gaspard will be better for the elves?" "If there's one thing I've learned," Philasson said, "it is that major political changes are almost never based on what I think." He made an idle gesture. "What you think, on the other hand, might change how the Empress of Orlais reacts to this news. I can promise you that no one in Val Royeaux has heard this news before you." So Briala takes the news to Celine, but Celine isn't, she's not as eager to help the elves as Briala is. "What they wish is irrelevant." Celine turned and stalked away from the window. "I'm already fighting a war on 2 fronts. I cannot be seen to fight a war on 3. "Then don't," Briala rose, putting herself in Celine's path. "Give them justice." "A lord for the death of an elf? Damn this thing." With a quick jerk, Celine tore the mask from her face. Her face was flushed beneath, her eyes red from another night of little sleep. "Shall I declare the elves equal citizens before the Maker and the throne as well, while I'm at it?" "Why not?" Briala took her own mask off, stealing a quick moment to steady herself. "Unless you don't believe that, and I'm just a jumped-up kitchen slut you haven't tired of yet." Celine turned her way, tossing her mask into an overstuffed couch and stalking to the great amber wall. "You know I cannot do that, Bria. I might as well engrave Gaspard's initials on the throne." "Send me to Halam Shiral." Celine was silent for a moment. Her hand went still in Briala's grasp. "You will kill Mansarai?" Briala nodded, confident and businesslike. "I have the contacts to lead the elves. I can give them the blood they need, then gentle them before they think to turn to another target. It will be an unexplained crime for the City Watch, not a rebellion, and if anyone asks your opinion, you can suggest that a lord who is so uncouth as to kill a harmless creature should learn to look to his own defense." Oh, they're lovers. They're in lesbians. And Briala very definitely uses this to her advantage. So, Gaspard made his second move. So after Briala left, Celine went to the theater to go see a play about Andraste's war against Tevinter. It's a very popular topic in Orlais. The play included Chartan, despite the fact that he was written out of the chant, the Canticle of Chartan. They were roommates. The Canticle of Chartan is one of the dissonant verses. But he's in this play, and they had Chartan played by a woman. The play also had Chartan and Andraste flirt the entire time and ignore the war against Tevinter. And it turned out, of course, that Gaspard and his supporters had interfered with the play. They sponsored it. They stepped in at the last moment to change it, to make it clear that they knew about Celine and Briala being involved. So it was definitely meant to be a critique of Celine, implying that she was abandoning her responsibilities and betraying Orlais by favoring the elves. Liliana met her outside the theater, and you know, told her basically what was happening about this. Celine went into the shadows where Liliana stood. She held up a tightly bound scroll. Several of the professors have been asked to write papers about the elves. One will be saying that their large ears mark them as similar to rabbits, which means that they are simple prey animals, relying upon base instinct for survival and not to be trusted. Another will claim that anyone fornicating with an elf is insulting the Maker as the one who lies with animals. At Celine's silence, the Divine's representative sighed. The elves are the children of the Maker, just as we are, and just as deserving of his grace. But the Divine will not say that, Celine guessed. Liliana looked away. She had been trained as a bard, so every movement she made was likely deliberate, but Celine thought her discomfort was genuine. I have been comrade in arms with elves. I would not see them harmed. But you did not ask her for her support in that matter. She looked back at Celine. You asked her for her support in calming the mages and the Templars. Indeed, Celine nodded. And will she give that support? Liliana let out a breath. She will, she said, nodding slowly. But in return, she needs to know that this matter with the elves is under control. There were countless options, but she had discarded all but a few immediately. New trade restrictions or revoking her request to the university to admit the elven scholar. Those actions would convince a few, but they would not sweep across the empire, leaving no doubt of Celine's strength. For that, only one thing would suffice. She had known it while talking with Liliana, and in her mind she begged forgiveness for the pain she knew Briala would feel. But there was no other way. Gather our forces. We march on Halam Shiral. Empress, I have a rebellion to crush. So, Briala and Falassin, meanwhile, arrived in Halam Shiral. And so the thing about... I've got a lot, actually, I'm realizing, a lot of things taken directly out of the book for this one. There's fewer of them for Asunder. There are still there, but there's fewer of them. This is like every other paragraph. It's like, I'm just going to read from the book here. Everything, it's Orlais. Everything's very subtle. It's hard to convey in bullet points. So I'm just like picking out the actual paragraphs to be like, so this is kind of what happened. This is how everyone's dancing around each other here. So the thing about a lot of the conversations between Falassin and Briala is that it's kind of unclear how much Falassin cares about the city elves. He pretty obviously cares about Briala, and he cares about supporting what she's trying to do, but he kind of seems uncomfortable showing concern for the other elves. Do you ever tire of it, Briala? He asked then. Walking among the fools, bending them to your will with a word here and a gesture there. Briala started to answer, then stopped at Falassin's stare. It was intent, almost angry, his eyes glittering inside the shadows of his cloak. She thought of the Chatelaine, the captain of the palace guard. She thought of the countless nobles who ignored her or called her rabbit. She thought of Celine's soft fingers trailing down her bare arm. I believe I'm doing good work, she finally said. Falassin nodded and looked away. Yes, that lasts for a while. In the book, she's probably like 30s, 40s? Yeah, she was young when she took the throne, but she's significantly older now. Falassin paused as they came to a great tree in the market square. The Vanadal was decorated with ribbons, and the dirt around it was marked with sticks stuck into the earth and decorated with bits of bright cloth hung as offerings. The tree of the people, Briala said. Your people. And yours, Falassin looked away, though you don't think so. It's a nice tree, Falassin said. Let it just be a nice tree. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's 9:40. So, he does make it clear, though, that however he feels about the city elves, the other Dalish definitely don't care about them. Ahead of them, at the edge of the lawn, Thren waited. Briala looked at him, the elven crusader fighting for his dead friend, and asked, Could the Dalish help these people? Falassin was silent for a long moment. I doubt we'll ever know, he finally said. Why not? Because, Falassin said, the Dalish will never see the point. So they arrived in Halam Shiral. They took a small group of the people there. No, she's definitely significantly older now. But she was, the point of that was that she was very young when she took the throne. So it was very, very impressive. It took a considerable amount of maneuvering on her part in order to get the throne that young, because she hadn't had enough time to really build up years worth of support. That was one of the things why Lady Mantion staged that assassination attempt that killed Briala's parents, because it was a big dramatic movement that quickly got a lot of support for Celine. So anyway, they got in, they killed this asshole in his sleep, and they got out right away. Briala hadn't allowed herself to think it before, when she'd ridden into town with Phelasson and seen the poor elves who fancied themselves rebels. They'd built a barricade that any chevalier would vault over, and wore badly tanned armor that an axe or halberd would cut through like it was satin. In their naivety, they had been talking about Halamshrel belonging to the elves again. It was heartbreaking to see them so proud over so little, unaware of how much trouble they had caused, or how close they had all come to death at the hands of the Imperial army. That army would have crushed them in hours. Yeah. In a moment of intensely tragic foreshadowing here, because at this very moment, Celine was on her way to crush the rebellion. So once they got out, they ran into Michel de Chavannes and a bunch of Celine's soldiers, who arrested Briala and killed the other elves. Phelasson escaped. He got out of the way. So as they took Briala to the prison coach, she saw that all of Halamshrel's elven slums were burning. Yeah. The heat behind Celine was a blistering curtain that tried to steal the air from her lungs, and sparks and embers drifted freely over the stone walls that kept the nobles safe. Those stone walls, Celine thought, likely dated back to when the elves first built Halamshrel. She wondered if they ever imagined that one day those walls would protect human nobility from the elves who burned on the other side. I don't love Celine either, I have to be quite clear. Like, Gaspard is an asshole. I don't love Celine. So anyway, Gaspard made his next move. At that point, Celine's army was very tired. They had been marching very hard for days in order to get to Halamshrel as quickly as possible. And they spent all night killing elves and burning down the slums. So naturally, that was the moment that Gaspard ambushed them. Because part of his plan had been all along. He made the play. Well, debatable. He'd set up the play in order to force Celine's hand to act against the elves, and then he had planned at that point to lure Celine and whatever soldiers she could get out of Val Royeaux. Her army was overwhelmed at that point. They came very close to killing Celine, but she escaped with Sir Michel, and they started to make for Jader, where she would be able to contact Val Royeaux and summon a larger army to counteract this attack. Gaspard, in the meantime, captured Briala's prison coach, but she escaped while they were cleaning up from the battle, and she met Phelasson in the woods nearby. They ran into Michel and Celine convinced Phelasson to take her to the Dalish to ask for help. He agreed, but then when he talked with Briala, it was very clear that he didn't really think the Dalish would help, even if he took them to meet them. You do not think your people will help Celine? Why in the world would the Dalish help a Shemlin? Because she's helped them. Briala felt her hands clench into fists and relaxed them with an effort. How much better are the elves of Orlais because of her rule? Phelasson sighed. You make two mistakes, Dalen. You say that she has helped the elves of Orlais, Phelasson said. This is untrue. What gains they have made are due to your work, not hers. You said that I made two mistakes. What was the second? Phelasson looked over, and behind the lines of the Valesline, the expression on his face was one of very old sadness. You think of the elves as the Shemlin do. Blood or no blood, knife ears or flat ears. You say that they are better off under Celine's rule. Who are they? The alienage elves? The Dalish? He smiled. And why must the Dalish care for the fate of the elves who live in the cities? So they get there, and he was right. The Dalish didn't want to help them. Celine was hurt along the way and got knocked unconscious. The Dalish very reluctantly healed Celine, but they kept Michelle tied up under tight guard, and they watched Philassen and Briala very closely while they were in the camp. And they kept them kind of like prisoners while they were kind of debating what to do with them. And in the meantime, while the elves kept Michelle under guard, he met a desire demon, or as it liked to be called, a choice spirit named Imshale, that the Dalish had summoned and then imprisoned there. They wanted, the Dalish had wanted Imshale to tell them about part of the elves' past, the Alluvians, which we've heard of before. That appeared in the Dalish origin in Origins, but specifically that the mirror that Meryl was trying to fix during Dragon Age 2 is an Alluvian. Imshale told Michelle that there are elven tombs all over Thedas that are linked by the Alluvians, which are magical mirrors that act as portals. So he tried to get Michelle to release him and then give him someone to possess in exchange for bewitching people and creating more evidence that Michelle really was a human noble. He said that he could make it so that no one ever learned about this secret, so that Michelle could continue to be a chevalier. But in the meantime, Briala was becoming very disillusioned about the Dalish. There were no princesses, no fade spirits whisking through the Aravels to do the laundry, but it was still more than she could have ever dreamed of. None of them ducked their heads or watched with concern for the humans. None of them feared a human walking into their camp to cause trouble. And they let the alienages burn, because the elves and the alienages were not their people. "You never told me," she said. "Oh, Briala, by the way, the people you've idolized for most of your life are actually pompous idiots." Philassen shook his head. "Would you have listened? Yes. Would you have heard?" His expression did not change, and he began to walk out through the Aravels. Briala followed him. "They don't care." "They do not." "Well, that's unfair. They care for the past. They care a great deal for it, in fact. They spend their lives searching for old bits to preserve and pass on. The old language, the old empire, the old secrets. But the present?" He shrugged. "The present is apparently much less exciting." Oh, thank you. So, Briala is still very angry at Celine about burning Halam Shiral, because, she had been trusting Celine to let Briala handle it and to keep from killing the elves, and instead it ended up with the elves of Halam Shiral being slaughtered. Briala's angry about it. Celine tries to convince her to come back. "Help me to return to Val Royeaux, and I will strike every law that limits your people's freedom and make you a lady." Celine smiled. "The Comtesse of the Elves." So Michelle, in the meantime, told the others about Imshale and the Alluvians. But Briala had to convince Philassen to turn on the Dalish and to help them escape. And she has a couple of things here. Second, I forget what the first one was. "When you pass by the statues that honor the elven gods, you do not look at them. Most of the clan members bow or nod, but all of them look as they pass by. All except you." "You have not convinced me, Dalen," his breath whispered in her ear. "I don't need to convince you. If I take my suspicions to Clan Virnan, will they turn on you? How did the Dalish elves deal with spies?" "In my experience," he said, "they spend several years debating. Third," she lifted another finger, "you just called the Dalish they instead of we, as you so often do." "Are you even Dalish?" Philassen stepped forward again until his face was inches from hers, and all she could see were his eyes and the tattoos around them. "Do you want to know the answer to that question, Dalen, or do you want my help?" So they decided to fight their way free. They killed a whole lot of the Dalish on their way, but they broke free. They went to go talk to Imshale. They got Imshale to tell them how to awaken the Alluvians, and they got a ruby that would lead them to a central chamber and then give them control over the Alluvian network. in exchange for freeing Imshale. They tried to double-cross Imshale after that, but he kind of double-crossed them right back and escaped. He tricked Michelle into destroying the enchantment that kept him trapped there, and he zipped on out of there. He and Phalacin also had like this weird vibe going on. Phalacin, like the weird thrall that he had, didn't seem to touch Phalacin at all, and they are kind of they're kind of chill with each other. They were like talking very friendly with each other, so kind of a weird vibe going on between them. Probably nothing. So anyway, they went through the Alluvians and kind of found themselves in a space in between that's kind of like a pocket dimension, or like the Wood Between the Worlds. If anyone's read the Narnia books, it was kind of like that. The elves were fine there. Brialla and Phalacin felt fine. But the humans were very uncomfortable, and the longer they spent there, the more uncomfortable they got. Brialla was very, very impressed by the Alluvians and by this world that the elves had created, this little pocket dimension. Phalacin reminded her that the ancient elves had been an empire. It must have been beautiful if they had the power to craft a world between the Alluvians. From what little survives among the Dalish, it was, Phalacin sighed. Take the richest district of Val Royeaux and add the magic that was part of our everyday life. Every statue fountain could speak through the water that poured from her mouth. Every column glowed with runes that the fools in Tevinter copied by rote like children tracing letters. When night fell, the roads were lit by stones like these, bright enough to find your way safely, but soft enough that you could still see the stars. I can only imagine. Can you? Phalacin looked over sharply. Can you truly? Then tell me, Dalen, who scrubbed the floors? We were an empire, Phalacin said again, and this time she heard the anger in his voice. It was not the Golden City. It was not the peaceful afterlife of this maker the humans have made for themselves. Take the richest district of Val Royeaux and tell me how many fools are scheming against each other at every ball. How many servants are flogged for improperly arranging the silverware? We were the nobles. It hit Brialla like a blow. She remembered a slow trickle of blood winding toward the spot where she had hidden in the reading room of Celine's childhood estate, where her parents had died on the orders of Lady Mantion. We were everyone. There were no humans, no dwarves, no race but the elves. Every atrocity you seek to avenge for your broken people in their alienages, elven nobles committed upon elven servants. No, it's not like the Fade. It is different. It is a different place, which is part of what's so impressive. It's like, it's not the Fade. It's not anything beyond the veil. It's something else entirely that no one had ever seen since the time of the elves. So, perhaps the ancient elven empire was not the greatest thing, according to Phalacin at least. But in the meantime, we still got Gascard out there. He was chasing Celine, and he found the Dalish camp there. Imshale had killed pretty much everyone in the camp as revenge for imprisoning him, but he kept the healer alive. He thought it was kind of funny that she would want revenge on Michelle, so he let her live, and he told her how to get through the Alluvians. He gave her another of those rubies that would let her through and guide her. Well, as I said, he's a Somniari, which means that he can go into the Fade and kind of like, he can explore the Fade and the memories that are in there in a way that not many other people can. We'll hear a little bit more in Inquisition about someone else who can do that, but apparently that's a thing that dreamers can do. But anyway, as revenge against Michelle, this healer, the Dalish healer, led Gaspard through the Alluvians. They had to fight against a whole bunch of demons and corpses, but after all of that, the two groups kind of had to team up with each other in order to continue to get through the Alluvians. So they called a truce, essentially. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoy the VOD when it comes out. Thank you for the lurk. And I'll see you later. Have a good shower. Have a good night. So they went through it. There's a whole bunch more lore that they find, a whole bunch of other conversations going on. But they got to the end, and in the end, Gaspard and Michelle agreed to duel. with each other to kind of settle the fight between Gaspard and Celine. During the fight, it got revealed that Imshale was possessing the Dalish healer, who had been helping Gaspard. Philasson talked him down and promised him that something interesting was coming. And Imshale seemed to figure out what that meant. You know, you've got a good point, Philasson said. Fire and swords are dull. But what if something bigger was coming? I'm listening, Slow Arrow, said the demon. What could you possibly do that you and I have not seen 100 times before while the sweaty mortals lusted and grappled and bled their lives away? Philasson said nothing, just smiled, twisting the tattoos around his face. Oh my, Imshale breathed. Is that a promise? Well, I was going for more of a threat. So that's weird. That's a weird thing that happened. Michelle was about to win this fight, and at the last possible second, Briala called in her favor from earlier for keeping his secret, and she ordered Michelle to yield. She had figured out, through all the conversations that she'd had and overheard during this journey, that Celine was never going to follow through on her promises to free the elves and allow them into Orlesian society. No matter what she said, she wasn't going to stand up to the nobles. The nobles would instantly turn against her if she tried to treat the elves as equals. And Celine, she knew, was not going to be willing to go against the nobles. She was not going to risk her power for that. And she'd also figured out that Celine had been the one to order the attack that killed her parents, not Lady Mantion. She had been willing to sacrifice her own servants and Briala's parents in order to strengthen her own position and support. So, that's fun. Briala stole the ruby from Celine. She claimed the Alluvian network for the elves of Orlais. She opened up the paths for everyone to leave and told Celine that she was leaving to work on her own to help the elves like Celine never would. Halam Shirel rioted because of a single nobleman. I can find elves who will help me with my work in every city in Orlais, and more who are too afraid to fight, but will serve as eyes and ears if I can help their children survive the winter. That is, Philasson said, and after a pause finished, a unique use of the ancient relics of our people, Dalen. I think Fen'Harel would have approved, Briala said, and saw Philasson give a startled laugh. He might have, her teacher said, though I very much doubt it. So, she took the ruby, she claimed the Alluvians, she let everyone else out of these paths here. In the meantime, Gaspard agreed to keep Michelle's secret. He was not going to reveal it because he admired Michel de Chavannes. He thought that he may not have been a noble, he might be a half-elf, but he was basically everything that he thought a chevalier should be. So Michel set off to try and track down Imshale, since it was his fault choice spirit. It was his fault that Imshale was free. So Michel decided to dedicate the rest of his life to tracking down Imshale. And then at the very end, Philasson went to go meet someone in the Fade. Possibly someone that he'd been working for? Unclear. Philasson shut his eyes and dreamed. He still sat in the forest before the campfire, but everything around him glowed faintly with the aura of the Fade, and the smell of the herbs was rich and fresh, as though he walked through a meadow in summer. Behind him, dead leaves crackled as someone approached. I don't have the passphrase, Philasson said, not turning around. Briala did not tell me. It was a lie, of sorts. She would have told him, had he not stopped her, and the figure behind him heard the lie and knew it as well. Yes, I know. She deserves a chance, Philasson said. Now what's the harm, really? Why not let the girl try? He would not take the Alluvians from Briala, and he asked this person to basically give the city elves and Briala a chance. Behind him, there was only silence. There would be no debate, no logical argument or impassioned plea. Philassen had known that when he sat down before the campfire. I'm sorry. Philassen sighed. I'm sorry. I will not take the Eluvians from her. Dead leaves crackled again as the figure came closer behind him. Philassen closed his eyes, straightened, and inhaled the rich scent one last time. They're stronger than you think, you know. He smiled. You know, I suspect you'll hate this, but she reminds me of... He never heard the blow that killed him. His last thought was for an elven girl, alone, with no magic, no family, no power, searching for her people. So that's the Masked Empire! I don't have an end slide for this one. I was gonna do that as well, and I did not do it. So basically what you should know about the Masked Empire, the slide that I was gonna put here is what you should know about this book. Is that, first of all, fuck Orlais, fuck the Orlesians. Gaspard is a nasty bigot, but Celine, for all that she claims to support the elves, is absolutely unwilling to risk herself to help them. We don't know who killed Philassen. I mean, I know who killed Philassen, but you don't. Doesn't it just? See, you know. Doesn't it just? But it's important that Briala and a couple of other people in Orlais now know about the Eluvians, and that the Eluvians are a network of... They're a network of magic portals, essentially. They're a transportation system that can take you all across Thedas far faster than any other method of travel. And Briala, theoretically, has control of this network now. Briala was kind of betrayed by Celine. Celine revealed herself to be the kind of person who does not think twice about sacrificing servants and elves and letting them die in order to solidify her own power. That was unacceptable to Briala, and so Briala left. It definitely stuff will be revealed in Inquisition. A lot of the stuff in these books is directly relevant to Inquisition, which is why I was like, okay, we gotta. Like, the Stolen Throne and the Calling and all of that take place before Origins were good. That's good to have extra background for it. There's some important shit in these books. So, that was the Masked Empire. We have one more book to get through. We've got Asunder. So this takes place basically immediately after the Masked Empire, or kind of like low-key in the middle. No, not in the middle. It was like immediately after. It's about the mages of the White Spire, which is the circle in Val Royeaux. And some people we know from Dragon Age Origins are going to show up in this book. So, here are the important people that we should know about in this book. There's Rhys. He is a senior enchanter of the White Spire. He's a libertarian, not that kind of libertarian. It means the fraternity of mages, the ones who think that the mages should be separate from the chantry. That's kind of like the group that he's involved with, though he's not very active. You have Evangeline. She's a Templar. She's, like a Templar is, kind of a stick in the mud. She does not have a sense of humor of which she is aware. She's better than other Templars. Yeah. Then we have Cole. What's Cole's deal? We don't know. He's known as the Ghost of the White Spire. No one can see him or remember him, and he lives in these secret tunnels that are underneath the White Spire. And there's Lord Seeker Lambert. He's less important. Cole is a sweet baby boy! Exactly! This bitch, essentially. He's the head of the Seekers. So they're the ones who are supposedly in charge of like monitoring the Templars, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So like, fuck this guy, I guess. And then you have Adrienne, who is Rhys's bestie. She's big mad all the time. She's ready to throw hands. She's ready to fight. She'll fight anyone. She'll fight God. She'll kick anyone's ass. She'll kick your ass. She'll kick her mom's ass. She'll kick her own dog's ass. She'll kick her own ass. That's basically all you need to know about her. What happens in this book? Hopefully this is a lot fun. Oh yeah, this is going to be definitely. I'm on slide 102 out of 145. So the majority of this was the Masked Empire. We're making good progress. Lambert was an asshole. Yes. Oh shit. Am I going to miss the Ampharos? I want the Ampharos. So, first event here. The Ghost of the White Spire. Someone's been killing mages in the White Spire. A complete mystery. The Templars open a locked room and bam, there's a dead mage stabbed through the heart. It's very, very weird. Spoiler alert, it's Cole. But like not in an evil way, necessarily, as far as we can tell. He was a mage who was living in the White Spire, except he was possibly also a ghost. Unclear. No, but no one could see him or remember him. As far as he can recall, he'd been brought to the Spire by Templars who locked him up and then apparently forgot all about him until eventually everyone forgot about him and stopped being able to see him. So, like, he sees a person and can, like, tell that they'll be able to see him. So he sneaks in and, like, yep, they can see him. And he's like, okay, great, I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill you now. And they're like, excuse me, they're, like, almost okay with it. Thank you. And, like, to be fair, shit's really bad in the circles. So, like, yeah. So, like, he shows up. He sees a mage who can see him. They're all scared and miserable. And he's like, so we can make this all go away. And he kills them. And something about it also makes him feel more real at the same time. Like, it's really spooky and weird. He remembered when he'd first come to the tower. Like every other mage before him, he'd arrived in terror, dragged through the halls by a Templar's rough hands. He'd no idea where this strange place was, or even how long they'd traveled to get there. Much of the journey had been spent blindfolded and unconscious, and his unsympathetic captors refused to tell him anything. As far as he'd known, they were going to kill him. He remembered being pushed down a dark corridor, empty save for a few apprentices who scurried to get out of the way. Most of them averted their eyes, and that only served to heighten Cole's fear. He was being brought to a dungeon, a black pit from which he was never going to emerge for his crime of being a mage. The Templars called him that word in curt, ugly tones when they needed to call him anything. Mage. Before that day, it wasn't a word Cole had associated with himself. It was something he'd only heard on the tongues of priests, a watchword for those who'd been cursed by the Maker. He didn't want to be a mage. He didn't want to discover how one became a mage, and found nothing wondrous in the idea of magic. Fervently, he prayed to the Maker over and over again for deliverance. He prayed until his voice was hoarse, prayed for the Templars to forget he'd even existed. And then he'd gotten his wish. So that's exactly what they did. Perhaps he died there in the darkness and forgotten. Perhaps that was how ghosts came to be. They were those who passed on and refused to accept it. Thus they remained, lingering in a life that didn't want them anymore. If he was dead, why did he still sleep? Why did he still hunger and breathe and sweat? These were not things that a dead person did. No matter what they called him, he was no ghost and no demon. But that didn't mean he was real. So Cole's deal is weird. In the meantime, remember how Selene was going to throw a ball for the Divine? She did that. The Divine showed up. She went to this ball that Selene threw in her honor. She seemed to indicate that she was sympathetic to the mages at the same time. We should not allow fear to cloud our reason, the Divine continued. We must remember all of those who have defended us in the evil times of ages past, who allowed us our prosperity through their sacrifice. We owe them a debt, and yet we have been shamefully forgetful of that fact. The Divine paused dramatically, her eyes scanning over the hushed audience. I speak of mages. The Chant of Light says magic exists to serve mankind and not to rule over him. And so it has been. The mages have served us well in many wars over many centuries, yet in times of peace, how well have we served them? We mean them no harm, yet have we not harmed them even so? The White Spire. It is in Val Royeaux, the capital of Orlais. All of this, again, is in Orlais. So a mage snuck into this ball and tried to kill her. He was angry that the College of Enchanters had been dissolved and that apparently no one was listening to anything that mages had to say for themselves. You mean us every harm. It's the Chantry that teaches them to fear us, he continued. You keep us under your thumb, reminding us again and again how you let us live only because we're useful. You'll hear me speak? You've disbanded the College of Enchanters, silenced our leaders. You've done anything but listen to us. He was trembling, seemingly only moments away from breaking down into tears, yet his fists remained tightly clenched at his sides. We see no peace being accomplished, he spat. If Kirkwall was any example, it showed us that nothing will be accomplished unless we fight for it. So he attempted to kill the Divine. Evangeline was the Templar assigned to guard her. She stopped him, but she was hurt in the attack, and the palace was damaged, and all of that. So, the Knight Commander of the White Spire was replaced by Lord Seeker Lambert to try and figure out what was going on with all the murders there. He called Rhys in to question him, since his research was on spirits and communicating with them, and also he and Jinot, the senior enchanter who had tried to, just now, assassinate the Divine, were both libertarians. And again, not that kind. They're the ones who think the Chantry should be separate from the mages, all of that. So it became quite clear that Lord Seeker Lambert kind of thought Rhys was involved with these murders. First of all, he and this mage who tried to kill the Divine were both in the same, like, social circle, as it were. And also, Rhys's research is on spirits. And that's enough to make anyone suspicious of a mage. Because why are you talking to spirits? What are you talking to spirits for? Seems dangerous. Seems like you shouldn't be doing that. So he suspects Rhys. Rhys suspects Cole. He snuck out at night and went to the tunnels. Because he figured out that Cole was probably the murderer. He was the only person who could see Cole and also remember him afterwards. Some people could see Cole, but then as soon as, like, they stopped being in the same place, they would forget about Cole entirely. Rhys not only can see him, but he can also remember him. It probably has something to do with his research into spirits and stuff like that. He's good at seeing, things that aren't usually there. So he tried to get Cole to turn himself in, but Cole ran, and Rhys chased him down. Evangeline, in the meantime, had discovered that he was missing and went to go get his phylactery to track him down. She tracked him down into the tunnels that are underneath the White Spire, where he was kind of trying to confront Cole. She couldn't see Cole, so all she could see was him, so she knocked him out and took him back up. And while she was getting the phylactery, though, it occurred to Evangeline to wonder if the Tranquil Record Keepers were ever wrong. They were inhumanly methodical, and their passive nature made them reliable, but did the Templars trust them too much? All of them had once been mages, and while they harbored no emotions, she wondered if it was possible for a Tranquil ever to turn against them. The Chantry had always claimed it could never happen, but once upon a time the Chantry had considered the idea of a mage rebellion unthinkable as well. Come on. So, Rhys got let out of a cell about 4 days later, because all of the mages got called to an assembly, because Wynne had come to visit the tower. Our good buddy Wynne from Dragon Age Origins. She had led the College of Enchanters to vote against independence from the Chantry earlier that year, so she wasn't really very popular with a lot of the other mages at this point. She spent... How much more tranquil can you make someone? She, basically her speech here was like, oh, we need to be patient, we need to, not cause a fuss and all that. Rhys got really mad at this and yelled at her. He later got called into the Lord Seeker's office and met Wynne there, and it comes out that Wynne's his mother. So that's a fun time. And I don't think it gets revealed in this scene, but Wynne mentions later on that she's his mother and that Rhys's father was a Templar. We don't know what Templar, but his father was a Templar. So Wynne and some Templar did the nasty at one point. They don't have a great relationship. All my life, I'd wondered who my mother was, and then she appeared out of nowhere. She was this warm, kind woman, and she was a hero. That she was my mother made me proud. Wynne said nothing, her eyes remaining fixed on some faraway place. That woman told me she was relieved we'd finally met. She told me she would return. And I never saw her again. I still wonder what happened to her. I am right here, she said stiffly. The woman I met wouldn't have stood in the Great Hall and told us that it's better to endure than to hope for better. She wouldn't have been the one who convinced the College of Enchanters that surrendering is our only option. But she's there on a mission. She wants to go find this old friend who's possessed. She wants to go into the Fade, kill the demon in the Fade, and break the possession. Kind of like we did with Connor in Dragon Age Origins. But the twist in this thing here is that the friend was tranquil, and therefore it shouldn't even be possible for him to be possessed. Lambert didn't like any of this because he still suspected Rhys of being involved with the murders, but Wynne had an order from the Divine that she could take whatever resources she needed, thanks to Liliana for that hookup there. So Lambert ordered Evangeline to go along with them to keep an eye on Rhys, and at the same time Rhys insisted that his friend Adrian go with them because they would need at least one more mage for this ritual. So our party so far is going to be Wynne, Rhys, Evangeline, Adrian. Before they left, Lambert visited Evangeline and told her that if what they found showed any indication that the Rite of Tranquility had a flaw in it, or that it could be reversed, she had to ensure that that knowledge never made it back to anyone else. Unbeknownst to either of them, Cole was hiding in the room during this conversation. He overheard this. So after they left, Cole followed them, and he wanted to warn Rhys about, what was going on here, that it could be dangerous. If something interesting gets found here, Evangeline's under orders to make sure that no knowledge ever makes it back. So as they got closer to the western approach, Rhys kind of told the others about Cole and that he was following them. And at the same time, Wynne told them about Pharamond, who is the Tranquil that they're going to rescue. She says that he was doing research for the Chantry at Adamant Fortress, and he was there specifically because the veil is so thin there. But specifically that he was doing this research with the knowledge and approval of the Chantry. And also in the meantime, Rhys and Evangeline get to know each other a little bit more and start to realize they have things that they admire about each other and all of that. And it's a very pasted on romance. In case this is not clear, I don't particularly enjoy their romance. I think it's kind of not believable. But that's neither here nor there. Just know that they're making low-key eyes at each other at this point. Along the way, this interesting thing happened. And worse, there was the music. He didn't know what it was, but it seemed to come from far, far off. It called to him, but not in a pleasant way. It had an urgency that sped his heart and made his blood burn. The dark creatures, the lurkers, they listened to it. He didn't know how he knew that, but he could feel them out there, craning their necks, raising taloned hands toward that call. So this might mean potentially that Cole hears the old gods? And that there's maybe an old god somewhere underneath or around the Abyssal Rift near Adamant in the Western Approach. There's potentially an old god in the Western Approach is what I'm saying, and for some reason Cole can hear it. It's weird. It's a weird little thing to notice in this book. Life does always find a way. So anyway, they got to Adamant. And the good news here is that they only got attacked by Darkspawn once. And the bad news is that when they get there, they find out that Lambert sent more Templars to meet them there because he didn't trust Evangeline to do it on her own. She managed to convince them to, stay outside and wait. But while they were there, they also met up with Shale, our good bud Shale. Wynne had left her there to guard the fortress. So they get inside, and everyone inside was either dead or possessed. Some bad shit had gone down in here. Everyone's dead. They make it down all the way down into Pharamond's laboratory, where they found this fun little tableau here. There was a circle of runes on the floor that made kind of like this containment field. There's an armchair in the middle of this thing here, and there's an abomination sitting there in the armchair, which is Pharamond. But the fun thing that they noticed about this is, like, clearly Pharamond had set the runes up before he got possessed. He had set them up with him inside and then deliberately done something to get himself possessed, possibly related to his research. The demon in here obviously revealed Evangeline's mission to everyone, so everyone now knows that Evangeline's supposed to, like, stop any information from getting out. They started, it also implied that he knew something about Cole's true nature, so everyone was sitting there arguing for a while before they're like, fine, you know what, we're gonna fix this first, we're gonna get into the Fade. They did the ritual, they all went into the Fade. At the same time, Cole got pulled in. Cole wasn't supposed to go there, but he got pulled in anyway. They all met each other in Wynn's memory of the Battle of Denerim. Everyone else there could see Cole in the Fade, and it came out at that point that he'd been the one who'd been killing all of the mages, and that Rhys had been covering for him. So again, they all started arguing, but then the dream version of the Archdemon attacked, and Cole ran away while they were separated. And so Rhys and Evangeline went off to go find Cole, and Wynn, Shale, and Adrian went off to find Pharamond and the demon. So Rhys and Evangeline tracked Cole to a memory of this old shack with ice covering everything inside. There's a demon there who was keeping Cole trapped there. He was disguised clearly as Cole's abusive father, who was, you know, yelling about killing Cole just like his mother for having magic. They killed the demon finally, and tracked down Cole to the cellar where he was, you know, he had the form of a 12-year-old at that point, hiding in a cabinet. He had the body of his little sister there with him as well, who was smothered by mistake when he tried to stop her from crying too loud so they wouldn't be discovered. So they coaxed Cole out of the nightmare, and he turned back into his older version. But clearly that is a memory that he had buried in there of what had happened to him before he arrived at the tower. Meanwhile, in Pharamond's nightmare, Wynn and the others found Pharamond, which is, in his nightmare, which was a world where the circles were no longer needed, because all of the mages had been made tranquil. They fought the demon, and it had the upper hand for a while, especially on Wynn, before the spirit, if we'll remember from Origins, Wynn is technically an abomination. She has a spirit inside her that had revived her when she was supposed to die, and it was keeping her alive. The spirit inside her kind of took over and defeated the demon, but it also made it quite clear to Adrian, who was with her, that she has a spirit inside her. So everyone woke up outside the Fade, and they found out that not only was Pharamond now not possessed, but he was also no longer tranquil. And he explained that demons usually avoid the tranquil. Yeah, definitely not a nice guy. Demons usually avoid the tranquil because their goal is to experience the world and feel all of the emotions and all of the stuff associated with that. And so as far as they're concerned, the tranquil are basically no better than inanimate objects, except also they can fight back. Pharamond had lured one into attempting to possess him anyway, and he found out that all he needed to reverse the tranquility was to be touched by a particularly powerful spirit. So his tranquility was reversed and he was possessed. Now that he was no longer tranquil, he felt all of his emotions too overwhelmingly, and he actually had trouble controlling his emotions. He was swinging wildly between extremes at this point. So they started heading back to Val Royeaux. Since the others, except for Pharamond, had seen Cole in the Fade, they could now see him and remember him in the real world, just like Rhys could. Evangeline convinced Cole to turn himself... I mean... We'll get to that in a second. Short answer, yes, it is better than being tranquil. It's still not good. It is better not to make people tranquil in the first place. But Evangeline convinced Cole to come back to the White Spire and, reveal that he was the one behind the murders so that they could clear Rhys's name, even though she knew, and Cole probably also knew, that the Templars would probably make Cole tranquil as a result. Adrian told Rhys that Wynn was an abomination, and she confirmed that, she agreed. And she asked Rhys to learn Pharamond's ritual to reverse tranquility. The Divine had known that Pharamond was attempting to find out about the Rite of Tranquility, and she had approved it. And Wynn realized that Pharamond might be killed as soon as they got back to the Spire. And since the Divine was attempting to change the Circle, and this research was an important part of that, this knowledge about the Rite of Tranquility, she thought it was important to preserve this knowledge and the ability to reverse tranquility. Rhys agreed to learn it. But also, along the way, Cole asked Pharamond what being tranquil was like. "What's it like to be tranquil?" he suddenly asked. Pharamond turned away as if stricken. He clamped his eyes shut, fighting back a wave of tears. Rhys stood up, a concerned look on his face. "Cole, I don't think this is something—" "No," the elf said, his voice thick. He shook from the effort of controlling himself. "You said a young man was returning to the tower to absolve you of those murders. This is he, is it not? He may very well face tranquility, as may you." Rhys nodded glumly. "As may I," Pharamond finished. He shuddered as if the thought were too horrible to contemplate. Cole thought he might not continue, but then Pharamond nodded, steeling himself. "I find it ironic the Rite of Tranquility cuts one off from the land of dreams, because a dream is exactly what it feels like. Everything in a dream is as it should be, nothing is out of place, yet part of you knows something is not right. This isn't your home, this isn't your life, it isn't you. Yet one cannot act other than the dream allows. It follows its course, and you follow it, believing nothing is real. You will turn the corner and awaken, safe and sound. Yet you never do. Instead, you are slowly smothered in a crystal clear silence that has no meaning." Yes, a second one did get his tranquility reversed. You'll remember it was Carl at the beginning of Dragon Age 2 when he met Anders and Justice appeared in response because he was so angry. It was that contact with Justice, the Fade Spirit, that briefly reversed Carl's tranquility. It wasn't enough to reverse it permanently, but he managed it for a little bit. So this is, it tracks. Being close to a Fade Spirit, having contact with a powerful spirit, can reverse tranquility. So, while they were gone, it turns out at this point the civil war between Gaspard and Selene had broken out in full force, which we had seen hints of at the end of the Masked Empire. In the 2 weeks that these guys were gone at Adamant, it broke out. They're fighting. The civil war of Orlais has begun. So when they got back, Lambert, the Lord Seeker Lambert, met them at the gates and took them to the Divine. Wynn had sent this message about what they found at Adamant. She sent, I think it was to Montsimard on their way back. She sent Shale off to, find the circle at Montsimard, use them to send a magical message to the Divine and to the other circles. Lambert was not happy at this point that more people knew about Pharamond's research, and he was very, very unhappy that Evangeline had not gone through with her mission. He took them immediately to an audience with the Divine at the Grand Cathedral. The Divine, again, seemed sympathetic to the mages there, and she did confirm that she was the one who had ordered Pharamond's research in the first place. "But why?" the Lord Seeker demanded. "The Rite of Tranquility has served the Circle for centuries. It is our last defense against mages who cannot master their own powers. We must keep order, Most Holy. We must protect the innocent from the mages, and the mages from themselves. She nodded. A convenient tale, so we may sleep better at night. The Maker says that magic is to serve mankind, but we possess a responsibility to those who serve us, Lord Seeker. We cannot hail them when their magic is useful and then lock them in a cage when it is inconvenient. They are the Maker's children, not to be tolerated, but to be cherished. The Lord Seeker furrowed his brow, staring at the Divine in consternation. And what price would you have us pay for such idealism, Most Holy? Idealism is our stock in trade, Lambert. A religion without ideals is tyranny. As for the price, she turned back to Pharamond, that is what I intend to discover. Part of it, yeah! I'm very irritated about it. That's why you can understand it. You can still understand what's going on. They give you enough information in the game that you can pick it up here, but a lot of the nuance of what's going on completely goes over your head if you haven't read these books, which is irritating. I don't like that. I don't think it was a good choice, and that's one of the reasons that I very much want to go over it here before we get into Inquisition, because it's like, I'm gonna make sure that you get the information. So anyway, Wynn revealed that when she sent a message to the Divine, it had also gone to all of the other circles and all of the other first enchanters, and that they were on their way to Val Royeaux at that very moment to discuss it. The Divine didn't seem to be happy about having her hand forced, but she agreed to let the mages hold a conclave in a month's time. I don't know if I'm going to have to read more books for Dragon Age 4, so I'm gonna do my best to read all of them anyway, just in case. And I guess we'll just deal with that when it comes. Lambert also agreed to let them hold the conclave with 3 conditions.
Screens off, Dingus. It's 9:30 p.m.
Thanks, phone mom. Great. So anyway, I'm going to finish this, and I guess we're not starting Inquisition tonight. Lambert also agreed to let them hold this conclave with 3 conditions. That, other than Rhys and the others, who probably would have to show up to answer questions, only first enchanters would be allowed at the conclave. That Rhys and Adrian would be confined until then, and that Pharamond would be made tranquil again. And the Divine agreed to this. Where am I? There we go. There we are. I hit the wrong button. Well, yeah, I will do the Who Am I Gonna Romance one tonight. I might do it again next week. But for those of us who are here tonight, you'll have a whole other week to think about it in the meantime. And then I'll go over it again next week before we start playing. So hold on. I'm like 10 slides, maybe 15 from the end. And then we'll get to the romances. So anyway, Evangeline got made Knight Captain by the Divine. She was kind of very disillusioned with the Templar Order after seeing how Lambert handled this situation. And she also, at this point, had started to forget Cole. But she wrote a note that she kept with her to remind her herself about him. Lambert came to visit her after reading her report, and he agreed to drop the investigation against Rhys as long as Evangeline attended the conclave and publicly denounced Pharamond's research. The sad truth, she supposed, was that every Templar had their reasons, and they were all good. At the same time, they all sounded like excuses. That need not be what happens here, she said. He turned from the doorway to stare at her intently. We give them leeway now, and they will demand more and more until that is exactly what will happen. She shook her head. We're not always right, my lord. If we push them too far, they'll turn into exactly what you make them out to be. There has to be another way. So it sucks. It sucks real bad. Before the conclave, though, Cole snuck down into the dungeons to talk to Pharamond. he discovered at this point that he could deliberately use his power to make himself even more invisible so that people wouldn't see him even when they interacted with him. So he used this to steal a guard's keys while literally standing in front of the guard, and he went to go visit Faramond. He offered to sneak Faramond out and help him escape, but Faramond asked Cole to kill him instead. Cut to the Conclave. Faramond is delayed getting there. They discussed what was the mages discussed what was happening. When it became clear that something was wrong, the Grand Enchanter, Fiona, got impatient, and she called for another vote for independence from the Chantry. Fiona snorted derisively. This isn't a conclave, this is a joke. We could discuss what to do about the right of tranquility until we were blue in the face. Do you believe the Templars would even think about following our advice? The Divine is willing to... Fuck the Divine! She sighed when the others stared at her, stunned by her blasphemy, and rubbed her forehead in agitation. I'm certain the Divine is a perfectly nice person, she continued in a more conciliatory tone. So was Grand Cleric Alfina in Kirkwall. She did her best to keep everyone happy, and what happened? Nothing was resolved until finally her inaction killed her. Fiona, the angry lady at the beginning of this, is Adrienne, Rhys's friend. Fiona is the Grand Enchanter. She was previously a Grey Warden. She is Alistair's mother. She showed up in the Calling way back when she had been with the Wardens when Merrick went off with the Wardens into the Deep Roads. She and Merrick had an affair there, and then Alistair was born. And it turned out, it looked like, at that point it was revealed that the joining wasn't a thing for her anymore. She didn't have, the whole Darkspawn thing, it's gone. So she was called from active service back to Weishaupt. No, Alistair is Merrick's son. Sorry, Merrick Theron, who is Logain's bestie. I'm just saying. Love. Should have kissed about it, my dude. If you loved Merrick so much, why didn't you marry him? So Alistair and Kaelin were half-brothers. Kaelin was the son of Merrick and Rowan, and Alistair was the son of Merrick and Fiona. Logan should have smooched it. I'm just saying, Merrick had 2 hands. The solution to all of this is clearly a polycule. But anyway, no one asked me about this. So anyway, Fiona calls for another vote of independence. Before anyone could actually vote, Lambert burst into the room. He accused all of the mages of treason, and he accused Rhys of killing Faramond. The Templars attacked. Excuse me. Yeah, I bet Varric would get away with that. When Templars attacked, one of them killed one of the youngest First Enchanters, by the way, who was, at the time, was trying to surrender. So the mages started fighting back, and Rhys held off Lambert and the other mages long enough for Wynne and Evangeline to escape before he got knocked out. Wynne and Evangeline escaped into the sewers, where they met up with Cole again. Cole revealed that he had not killed Faramond, even though he'd been asked to, and told them that he could lead them through secret tunnels into the White Spire to rescue Rhys. No, it's a lot to keep track of. I'm honestly, I'd be very, very impressed if anyone was, keeping up with everything that I'm saying. I only know all this because I know far too much about Dragon Age, and I've had however many years to marinate in this. So anyway, in the meantime, the fight was, Faramond is the one who was possessed by the demon, but he was no longer. They killed the demon in the Fade, so he was no longer possessed, but he was also, Faramond was no longer tranquil. He's the tranquil who had been trying to... No, that's Imshel. So anyway, the fight got broken up. Rhys and the other mages there had been captured and locked up. Lambert came to try and convince Rhys to publicly confess that he had been under the influence of a demon. He told Rhys that there was no record anywhere of a mage named Cole, or anyone matching his description, that had been brought to the tower, and that Cole was a demon who had been manipulating him this entire time. So Lambert told him that unless he agreed to confess this, he and every other mage imprisoned would be executed. So Rhys started to have doubts about who Cole was, but he ultimately refused to go along with this plan. Wynne and Evangeline and Shale, in the meantime, snuck into the tower, and they managed to find their way to the phylacteries and destroyed every phylactery there. Lambert, at the same time, got called away to the Grand Cathedral to meet the Divine. Apparently, urgent meeting, I need to talk to you right now. The Templars who were left raised the alarm. Liliana, in the meantime, arrived and helped Cole release all of the other mages who had been imprisoned. There's so many names. So Cole got Rhys out through the sewers. He used his new power to hide them both from the Templars who had followed them down there. But it turns out that Lambert had Rhys's phylactery with him the entire time. It was not destroyed with all of the others. He used it to track them down and was able to reveal Cole using the Litany of Adralla. And it worked on Cole. And it should only work on a demon or a spirit. It was created by a Magister of Tevinter to dispel demonic influence over the mind. It works on nothing else. Rhys's heart sank. He watched as the anger drained out of Cole. He stared at the Seeker in confusion. Poor, stupid spirit, the Lord Seeker said. He put the book away and walked toward Cole. The young man tried to retreat, but he couldn't stop staring, his mouth agape. Did you try so hard to pretend you were one of us, pretend you were real, that you forgot what you really were? Cole scrambled away from the Lord Seeker and then stopped. He looked over at Rhys, their eyes meeting, and Rhys saw that he was crying. There was no denial there, no refusal or anger. There was a realization. Cole's world had crashed down around him. The one thing he'd always feared finally came true. He wasn't real. And just like that, Cole faded away. So, Cole was devastated. He disappeared from the area, at least. Evangeline showed up at that point to fight Lambert. She was distracted during the fight, though, by all of the other mages coming in with Wynne, and Lambert stabbed her through the chest. The mages chased Lambert away, but Evangeline was dead. At that point, Wynne used the spirit that had been keeping her alive and had it bring Evangeline back instead, letting Wynne die in her place. Several months later, mages from all over started meeting up at Andrel's Reach, which I believe is in the north of Orlais. I think it's in the north, up towards the Anderfells. At that point, Adrian revealed that she had been the one to kill Pharamond, and she framed Rhys for it because she knew that it was the only way to sway Wynne to their side against the Templars. She knew that if Rhys was threatened, Wynne would turn on the Templars, and so she framed him. They basically, Rhys at that point was like, yeah, we can't be friends anymore. She's like, yeah, fair enough. Right? I tried to have like a little bit of it with like the pictures at the beginning, but like, we need to have an anime. So at that point, once again, Grand Enchanter Fiona called for a vote of independence from the Chantry. She also told them at that time that the Circle of Dersmuid would not be joining them because it had been annulled. The Templars had killed everyone in that circle. Rhys, who's now the head of the Equitarians, he was no longer the... Oh, hi, Bees! You're coming in just at the end of the first PowerPoint, and I've got only one very, very short one left. Whoops. No, that makes perfect sense. The birthday party is far more important. But Rhys was now the head of the Equitarians. He ended up with the deciding vote. That was the largest fraternity of mages. and he had the deciding vote. He ended up voting for independence and voting to fight against the Templars and the Chantry. Also, thank you for the resub. Good to see you. So the Mage Templar War began. Lambert wrote a letter to the Divine. He had escaped from the other mages, but he wrote a letter to the Divine at that point saying that, first of all, he knew that she and Liliana had helped the mages of the White Spire rebel that night, and he said that the Seekers and the Templar Order would no longer be following her orders. He declared the Navaran Accord null and void. Most Holy, the Seekers are well aware of the part you played in the rebellion. You call me to the Grand Cathedral in the middle of the night on urgent business, only to speak of trivial matters. And then when I return to the White Spire, I discover chaos, and one of your agents in the midst of the apostates. Did you think I would not notice? Did you believe yourself above repercussions for such acts? It was a dark day when the Chantry placed such an incapable woman upon the Sunburst throne. I will not stand idle and watch you destroy what ages of tradition and righteousness have built. In the 20th year of the Divine Age, the Navaran Accord was signed. The Seekers of Truth lowered our banner and agreed to serve as the Chantry's right hand, and together we created the Circle of Magi. With the Circle no more, I hereby declare the Accord null and void. Neither the Seekers of Truth nor the Templar Order recognize Chantry authority, and instead we will perform the Maker's work as it was meant to be done, as we see fit. Signed this day, on the 40th year of the Dragon Age, Lord Seeker Lambert Van Reeves. So he wrote this letter. Very soon after, Cole came to visit him. In the dim moonlight that filtered in through the window, he caught a glimpse of the intruder's shaggy blonde hair and immediately recognized him. Demon, he growled, and hissed in pain as the blade pressed against his flesh. The young man leaned close, his expression one of deadly intent. There was a Cole, he whispered. You forgot him in that cell, and I heard his cries when no one else would. I went to him and held his hand in the darkness until it was over. When the Templars found him, they erased everything to hide their shame, and I was helpless to act. Sorrow and perhaps even regret crossed the young man's face, but only for a moment. I'm not helpless any longer. Yay! And that's how Asunder ends. So the things that are important to know from this book. First of all, the mages were not happy. They heard about what happened in Kirkwood. No! Well, it could be worse. There could be a worse time for it, I guess. The mages broke away from the Chantry. A way to reverse the Rite of Tranquility was found. That was the very important thing. The important bit is that they figured out how to reverse tranquility, even though very few people know about it at this point. The mages voted to break away from the Chantry, and the Seekers and the Templars no longer recognize Chantry authority. They're going to go off and deal with mages and stuff however they think is appropriate, and they're not listening to the Divine anymore. The Mage Templar War has officially begun. Will they let that secret out? That's a good-ass question. That is a great question. You'll have to wait for Inquisition to see that, because Inquisition is going to pick up very soon after the end of this book. The Mage Templar War began. Mages and Templars are in full conflict. That's a good-ass question. But give me a hot sec now. Why'd you disconnect? Did you disconnect? What the fuck? Don't disconnect, man. Yeah, my connection got real bad. Are we here? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Wonderful. Excellent. Yeah, I got a notification that OBS had disconnected. Wonderful. Great. It is all black screened, obviously, because I still have the PowerPoint pulled up. So, this is great. Give me a hot second and I will pull up the second PowerPoint. So, one moment. We're back with Dragon Age Inquisition romances. I'm also very curious about, well, I'm not curious because I know what will happen in Dragon Age Inquisition, but like, you get what I mean? Like, there's some juicy stuff happening here, and it's like, now we need to see what's gonna happen in Inquisition. So in the meantime, oh, I missed the trumpet. I'm not wearing my headphones. Thank you. Thank you. This one's much shorter. This has like 18 slides in it. It's a lot shorter. That's what you can if you want. I'm gonna do this again at the beginning of next week's stream. This one, not the full book report, but I'm gonna do the Inquisition romance PowerPoint again at the beginning of next stream, just for the people who are not there, because it's going to be directly relevant. So if you, whoops, oh well. So if you're here watching it, you get a little sneak preview, you get an entire week to think about it, you get an entire week to, you know, mull over all of the options here. This is not a democracy, and I will be picking the one that I want, but I am also open to hearing everyone else's thoughts on them. So, here we go! First up, we've got the ladies. And I've tried to put them in order, in the order that you encounter them, like the order they're introduced in the game. I would love to play as a female. That is not available for all of the romance options, and I will be going over, you know, which ones are available to whom. So first one you meet, right off the bat. I would love to play a lady, but we'll see. We'll see. First one you meet, Cassandra. You can romance Cassandra in this game. She is a companion, and you can smooch her. The pros of Cassandra are fucking look at her. Ha! She's a huge softie. She's a secret romantic. You kind of got that in Dragon Age 2, the way she got a little bit of wide-eyed hero worship about Hawke over the course of the game. She's always like, oh, that's so romantic. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that dramatic, that, like, storybook-like. She's also very, very fun to bully and tease and make fun of. She gets very flustered. The cons of this romance are you have to play a guy. She's straight. She should not be, but because look at her. BioWare let me smooch her as a lady. Dah! You have to play as a dude in order to romance her. And the other con, of course, is that she is a chantry shill. She's a seeker. She's definitely... Yes. Yes, it is a con to have to play as a guy. I want to play as a girl. That's the reason that it's a con. Because I specifically want to be a girl. Yeah. If I were to romance Cassandra, I would have to play a guy. Okay. Like Jack. Like Miranda, honestly. Let me smooch her as a girl. BioWare. Give me the bi ladies. Speaking of bi ladies, though, the next one that you meet is Josephine. Among the pros of Josephine are fucking look at her. she's Antivan, so she's got a great Antivan accent. She is a sweet cinnamon roll. She is too good for this world, too pure. She's a darling. She's a sweetheart. She's an angel, and we're thrilled she's here. She's big competency kink. She's very, very good at her job. And her romance is absolutely like picturesque storybook Disney princess romance. You fight a duel for her hand. I can't make this shit up. The cons of it are it's a very short romance. There's not a whole lot of content for it. You can't go into the field with her. She's not a companion. She is an advisor. And so you have a limited amount of time to spend with her, and there's no party banter. She's nice, but yeah, there's not enough content. And then the last of the ladies, there's really not a whole lot of lady options. And are you joking? Are you joking? Are you joking me right now? Please? Are you joking? Are we back? Are we back? Are we here? Hello? Okay, wonderful. Wonderful! Thank you. Yeah, apparently my internet is shitting the bed tonight. Sorry about that. The next one is the last of the ladies that you can romance. And as I was saying to my sister, it's actually very, very funny how the people who got shafted in this game for romance options are in fact straight men. If you're a straight man playing this game and you want to smooch you can smooch Cassandra or Josephine. And that's it. They're really... us ladies are eating well. But anyway, the last woman that you can romance in this game is Sarah. And sorry if you're a straight guy, you can't. Nope. The pros of Sarah are that she's just fun. She's fun. She's a good time. Won't someone think of the straight man? Thank you. This is a pro for Dragon Age Inquisition. She has got terrific party banter. She's so much fun. Hello! We're doing the romance. We're doing the romance PowerPoint. But we're not going to have time to start Inquisition tonight.
You know how it is.
It's true. It is very true. She's got terrific party banter. She loves to stick it to the man. She's very fuck cops, fuck the police. She is a Kunari respecter / enjoyer. Let me just say, you introduce yourself to her as a Kunari. I've been meaning to say this entire time. If I were gonna romance Cassandra, I would be playing an elf dude, mage. I'm only playing mages. That one's non-negotiable. I'm playing mages. I would romance Cassandra as an elf mage. I would romance Josephine as an elf mage, but a lady. Because you can romance Josephine as a lady. Kunari for Sarah. Yes. She is a Kunari respecter / enjoyer. If you introduce yourself to her as a Kunari lady, her response is, this is verbatim, woof. So that's always fun. She is a disaster lady. I support women's wrongs. But Sarah has done nothing wrong. She's definitely, I can fix her. And finally, a lesbian. Thank you. Finally, BioWare. The cons are the writer did not do right by her. I have many, many issues with the writing for Sarah. It does not appear that Sarah's writer particularly liked Sarah. And it definitely shows in the way that the character was written. And specifically that my issues with her and the writing tie into the romance itself. It's not great. I love Sarah, and I wish the game treated her better. That's all for the ladies. Those are all the ladies. End. Then you have the dudes. I would romance Sarah, by the way, as a Kunari lady, because woof. So the dudes. Possibly, but also, I think Sarah, like so many things in Dragon Age Inquisition, falls into the pitfalls of we're trying very, very hard to make everything morally gray or have nuance, but really what you do in that is either you try and posit things. Well, okay, all right, you don't need to announce that, we all know. You try to posit things, you know, like, oh, maybe the mages and the Templars both have something to them. Maybe the Templars are not all wrong. Maybe there's an argument against the mages, when literally everything they've been saying for the past 2 games has been about how the mages are the two sides are not equal. And then Inquisition leans hard into, oh, but what if both sides? A lot of the shit with Sarah kind of feels like that, where it's like, we're trying to like portray a different point of view, but in a way that, like, you should agree with this point of view, potentially, in a way that absolutely does not jive with, like, anything else that they've been telling us. Yeah, the centrists definitely got a hold of this plot. That is one of the big issues with Dragon Age Inquisition. That and the open world, which I will, you know, I'll rant about that when we get into the game. The fact that they don't seem to want to, like, stand by their own lore. They're like, I know that we said this thing, but it sounds like it's biased too closely to the... BioWare, hire me to write for your games. I know your lore better than you do. Not that I'm mad or anything. Anyway, let's talk about the dudes. I love Sarah, and I wish that the game did right by her. She is one of the few people, the entire game, that at any point, I don't think she may be the only one of your companions, at any point you can kick her out. Anyway, I'm mad. Let's talk about the dudes. Yeah, right? Thank you. So, first off, one of the first dudes that you meet is Solus. The pros for Solus are, listen, I've played most of the Solus romance. I'm like halfway through Trespasser on my Solus mats. He's a very popular romance for a reason. Like, I know, I understand, I get it. He's got a great voice. What's his name? Sarah is for girls only. Sarah is a lesbian, which, thank you, finally, a lesbian. What's his name? If you've watched Torchwood, he's the guy who plays Ianto. He's Welsh. He's fantastic. It's really great. He speaks in iambic pentameter sometimes, which treats me so right. Hashtag lore drop. Big lore on this. You can slaps the roof of the car. You can fit so much lore in this bad boy. He's got very, very cool and interesting thoughts about magic and spirits and all the fade and all of that stuff. It's really, really cool. I can fix him. Derogatory. The cons of this are redacted. First of all, I cannot tell you what one of the biggest cons is to this romance, because that is, I am not allowed at this point. His issues are like 90% of the romance. It's like, that's it. When I agree with him, I really agree with him. And then when I disagree with him, I really disagree with him. Bald. Listen, some people can pull off bald. Not Solus. Look at him. Look at the egg. There are many, many good things about Solus. His hair, or lack thereof, is not one of them. And I will say, to be completely fair, I cannot emphasize enough that his romance is very, very popular for a very good reason. That's some good shit. I get it. I understand. Yes. I will not be romancing him. I'm not going to say anything more about this because redacted. So, moving on. The next one that you meet is Cullen! We just saw our boy Cullen. The pros to him, first of all, other than look at that glow up. Fantastic. He looks so much better in this game than he looked in the previous games. Good for him. The pros for him include he's got a 3-game story arc, and it's just very cool to be there for the last act of this. He's very cute. He's a massive dork. You remember the bits at the beginning of Dragon Age Origins when I was playing a Serana, an elf mage, a lady, and I was flirting with him, and he was very awkward about it? Yes, that energy comes back. He is calibrations. He calibrates the trebuchets. Like that. If that's not a callback, I don't know what is. I think you were the one who came up with the Venn diagram of Cullen Mancers and Shakarian fans is a circle. It is a circle.
Cringe.
Yeah, big cringe. I can fix him.
You should be embarrassed.
I am embarrassed. Guilt. Obviously, among the cons is Chantry Shill. He's a Templar. That's the third point right there. He shouldn't be straight. Cullen should be bi. And again, he's Hi, good to see you. Thank you for that.
Oh no, he's hot!
He is. It's a problem. And also he's another advisor. He is not he's not a party member, so you can't take him into the field. There's no party banter for him. It's very, very sad. Oh well. But anyway, good to see you. So obviously, I forgot to mention also, if I were to romance Solus, I would be an elf mage, a lady. And that one is not my choice. They do not give you a choice. He will only romance elf ladies. Cullen, if I were to romance Cullen, I would again be playing an elf mage. He does get a decent amount of extra scenes. That is to be completely fair, very true. A part of that 3-game story arc right there. Like, his scenes are choice. They're very good. If I were to romance Cullen, I would also play an elf mage, a lady, especially for those extra knives, harkening back to his crush on Serana back in Dragon Age Origins. I think it would be very fun to make him, initial caps, go through it. I love Cullen, and therefore I want him to suffer. And then have a happy ending, but in the meantime to suffer. So, the next one you meet is Blackwall. The pros for Blackwall is, look at him, he's a wet paper bag of a man. I love him. He respects women. He is chugging respect women juice. He acknowledges the Andrastian bias, which is honestly good for him. It's better than pretty much anyone else does. He would like to be stepped on. He is looking for a woman to crush him. Old man fuckers rise up. And I can fix him. Parenthetical, holy shit. Wow! Oh, I can fix him. Whoo! The cons for him, of course, are that he is wildly uncommunicative. He does not tell you shit. Cons low-key redacted. And also to make the romance work, you really gotta lean into the femdom vibes. When I say that he's looking for a woman to crush him, I'm not joking. All of his best dialogue is about him simping super hard. If I were to romance Blackwall, I would be playing a Kunari lady, obviously, because he deserves a woman who could crush him not only emotionally or psychologically, but also physically. I think it would be good for him, and I think he'd be into it. He's a great romance, by the way. Like, he's really good. Just take my word for it. It's a good romance. It's really nice. Big, heavy guilt vibes on this one. When I say that he is a sad, wet paper bag of a man, I'm not joking. He's pathetic.
More than anyone else.
More than anyone else. You are a Blackwall fan.
Love that guy.
Yeah. The other one, Gwendolyn Christie would make a great Qunari. Stop talking. I have to get through this PowerPoint. I can't think about that right now.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that right now. Moving on to your other favorite, the Iron Bull.
Big.
The pros of him are, fucking look at him. Look at that. Fun fact, when they were talking about who they were going to make romanceable in this game, one of the women, was it Patrick Weeks' wife?
I think so.
I think it was Karen.
One of the devs' wives.
It was one of the devs' wives. Came up to him and they're like, him. We want to climb him like a tree. And they're like, really? Yes, him. If you do not make him romanceable, we riot. So they were not wrong about that.
Women want to ride the bull.
Women want to ride the bull. Kinky as fuck. Not necessarily shown in game, but you just look at him. Yes. Monster fuckers rise up. He is absolutely fantastic at noticing things about people, and he acts on them except when it's about himself. He has incredible awareness for everyone else, their emotions, their psychology, except for himself. He is looking away. He does not see it, which is a very attractive trait in a man. A fictional man, to be quite clear. I could fix him, but only if I find time in between him trying to fix me. Again, the competency kink looms large here. He knows what he's doing, in every sense of the word. He is also a professional liar, which is, again, hot girl shit. The cons. If you romance him, he doesn't romance Dorian. Which is, it's a very cute thing. And also, if you make certain choices in the game will hurt your feelings about it. That's not an issue for us, because I know what those choices are, and I will not make them. But for anyone else, potentially going into the Iron Bull romance, beware. If you make certain choices, the game will hurt your feelings. If I were to romance Iron Bull, I would play an elf lady. Mage, obviously, because I'm only playing mages. It could be him. He's high up there on the list. And then the last choice, the last option, as it were, is Dorian! He is the most beautiful man in Thedas. Look at him. He's so gorgeous. I could cry. His voice is so incredible. I can't. Yeah, you're just.
I would listen to him read the phone book.
I would listen to him read the phone book. Absolutely. 100%. He's hilarious. He's so funny. He is cute and smart. He's actually a genius, by the way. Not enough people lean on that aspect of his character, but he's really fucking smart. Shows ass. Enough said. He is a cool person from Tevinter, which is another hashtag lore drop. And also a class traitor. Again, because he's a cool person from... Yes. Cons, you have to play a dude. This man is gay. And I support him. He's from Tevinter. Derogatory. And all that being from Tevinter implies. If you romance him, he doesn't romance the Iron Bull. If I were to romance him, I would be playing a human mage, because I would be trying to recreate this one Inquisitor that I made once, who is the second most beautiful man in Thedas. His name is Charles Trevelyan. He is too beautiful. He is a sweet cinnamon roll. Let me just say, if I had to play a dude, Dorian is my choice. Dorian is... I would be a guy for him. Look at that.
Also, this is a pretty good game to be a guy in.
Also, you are very right. As far as all the character creators go, this is the game to play a guy in. You can make some actually quite attractive looking men in this game, which is hard to do in the previous two games. So, he's great. So here's the short list. Here's the short list here. Any bets? Who do you think makes my short list? I want to hear it. Obviously, we've already got a vote for the Iron Bowl. Who do you think is on this list? Yes. Obviously, Iron Bull's on the short list. No takers? The egg. Oh. Interesting. Cullen, you were correct. You were correct, Sashka. Cullen is on the short list. The egg does not make it. We got two. We got two of them. I'll give you a hint. There is two more. There are two more people on the list. Josie, good guess. It's not Josie. All right, we're gonna get going. You got two of them. You got two of them. Very nice. First one on the list is Cullen. Yes, I would. Yeah, Cullen is a top contender for this because look at him. Look, the multi-game story arc. It's compelling, and he's improving. Look at how much better he's getting over the course of the games. We love Cullen. The second one on the short list is Blackwall, actually. Listen, I'm a sucker for a pathetic, wet sack of a man. Look at him. And also, as far as everyone else goes in this game, his politics are, like, the most decent.
It's like, we should be empathetic to other people.
Yeah, exactly. We should be empathetic to other people. We should acknowledge our privilege and our bias in the world. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, Blackwell does pair well with a carded dwarf. I personally, I cannot play a dwarf because I must play a mage. I must play a mage. But yeah, a carded dwarf goes really well with Blackwall. I would play a Kunari if I romanced Blackwall. Next one on the short list. You guessed it. It's Iron Bull. Titty. That's enough said. Look at them. He's tits out constantly. I love it. I love this about him. He's fantastic. And then the last one who's on my short list is in fact Dorian. Regretfully, you do have to play a dude. But as I said, that's actually, as far as all of the games go, this is the game to do it in. And for him, I would do it. Look at him. Look at him. Ramon Tikaram's voice is stunning. It transports me. I could play a man for him. I would do it.
Have done it.
I have done it. Look at that. He's voiced by this guy. Look at this. How am I supposed to, like, not be... Yeah, Dorian's fantastic. Anyway, that's it. That's the list. Discuss amongst yourselves. You vote for Bull? Bull is a good romance. And also, I have not fully decided. I'm debating about this shortlist in my mind right now. I am absolutely willing to hear everyone else's arguments, and I will be making my own decision sometime between now and next week. So what do you think? That's fair. I will say that Cassandra is a very, very good option for guys. She's very good. I cannot stress enough how good Cassandra is. Also Josie. Pro for Cullen, but I'd like not to get too much into it. Oh, I should have put in the pros as well. Dog. Not until Trespasser, but dog. Not to be spoilers or anything, but like, the way he proposes is so cute. It's so cute. Everything about the romance in Trespasser is so adorable. I love Cullen. It's very, very sweet. Yeah. And he is very pro-Chantry. He's getting better. He's getting better. You saw him at the end of Dragon Age 2, where he was willing to stand up to Meredith. Like, we can fix him. That's the appeal of it's like romancing Fenris, who hates mages. Listen, I could fix Fenris. I can fix Cullen. Oh yeah, Chantry for for Cassandra also. Yeah, that is Chantry. Yeah, that is a big con for her. Well, maybe we can fix her. Write her enough sonnets. Maybe she'll ditch the Chantry. Like, she's a hopeless romantic. That's very. Josie is also very good. Very good. Not as much content as I would want in the game, but Josie is a solid choice. She's very sweet and she deserves everything good in the world. I would like to protect her. I would like to keep her safe. I would like to give her everything good in the world. Hell yeah, congrats. I also have not done the Josie romance. I have merely watched it. But it's very cute. And Josephine deserves only good things. So anyway, that's what I've got. Those are the romance options. Roly-Coly is... I want to say that it's like a tiny sentient piece of coal. Almost. Anyway, I don't know. It's cute. If I can remember, Roly-Coly is very cute. I'm kind of wishing I'd caught one. But anyway, yeah. My four potential choices are Cullen, Blackwall, Iron Bull, and Dorian. Yeah. And having played, I believe, all of the romances, all of them, at least at this point, they're all solid. Those are all good choices. Do not sell. Do not get rid of this Pokemon. It's very cute. I love Roly-Coly. So there we go. That's all I've got. Yeah. Let me... Actually, I need to end the slideshow. I need to get out of here because I need to choose who I'm going to be rating. Y'all can... Nope. I was playing Dragon Age 2. Well, we're gonna figure out who we're gonna raid. There's no one online right now. This is wild. Yeah. I had only 15 minutes left before stream. Who on earth am I gonna raid? So fun fact, the person that I follow who has the fewest number of people in their stream right now, is in fact Travis McElroy. So that's not a small number. I don't know that I want to raid him. I don't even know if he allows it. Who am I gonna... Anyone have any recommendations? I need to find someone to jump in on here. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. Next week, I'm going to be starting Inquisition, which is going to be a fun time. I'll probably run through all of these options one more time before I decide who I'm going to be. And then we're going to start Dragon Age Inquisition. I may have to go through and make sure that I have, like, all of my mods installed, because I don't know if I can even start up, any of my old saves, because they all had mods on them. So we're going to have to, like, I'm going to have to try and figure that one out. I'm very excited, though. I think it's going to be a fun time. Yeah. What do you think? I got nothing. How are we? Yeah. I'm flipping through and I'm like, oh my god, I would love that. I was flipping through trying to find someone. Little 04. Let's do some Inquisition, actually. I think that'd be a really good thing. Let me throw this in real quick. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, so the plan, obviously, Friday is Stardew. I'm going to do my best to fix it between now and then, because, God, can you even imagine? And if it's broken, then it's broken, and we'll play Fallout 4 again. But here's hoping that it won't be. And then on Tuesday, we'll start Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm very, very excited about that. I've been looking forward to this for a very, very long time. So we're gonna go jump in. We're going to raid. It looks like Little 07. I will see you all next time. In the meantime, thank you. I also had a lot of fun. I always love being able to rant about lore. Good night. Happy New Year to everyone. First stream of the year. Happy New Year. Thank you for hanging out. I hope to see you all next time. Go get lots of rest. Make sure you get up regularly and stretch out your hamstrings as well. I definitely need to do that because I spent all day sitting down working on this PowerPoint. Go up and down the stairs a couple of times too, because that's also good for your back. And make sure to drink plenty of water. And I hope to see you all next time. Have a good night. Good night.